This is Comic Geek Speak episode 1813, Previews, and catching up with JK Woodward. I'm Adam Murdo.
I'm Ian Levinstein.
And I'm Chris Everly. Ian joins in on the fun. All right.
Who remembered his prop tonight? This guy. Welcome, one and all, to the show. And it's previews time. Previews. And we'll be joined by a special guest probably by the time we're done with this introduction of the episode or thereabouts. And previews numbers for you. It's issue 393. We've got DC Connect number 13 and Marvel Previews number 12. Yet again, on the Are There More Versions of Previews we have to keep track of much? The answer is not quite yet. Not quite yet. But I guarantee you by September there'll be at least one more. So we'll see.
And what do you think that will be, brother?
Probably either Image or Dark Horse, I'm guessing. But you didn't hear that from me, and I could be easily wrong, but you never know.
Yeah, Image feels like the inside favorite to me.
Yeah, more than likely. Well, while we wait for our guest to join, we'll go through our usual intro spiel and let you guys know that this episode is sponsored not by me, not by Murd, not by Chris, but by you, the listeners, over at patreon.com/comicgeekspeak. As we continue to keep the lights on in the studio. Oh, hey, how about that studio? Anyway, that things keep coming one way or the other, whether it be on Zoom or whether it be in person, because of you, the listeners. And we thank you so much for your dedicated support of the show. It's now been quite some time since we launched it back in January. And 6 months later, it's still going strong. We thank you guys so much for that continued support.
Patreon.com. Thank you very much.
Yep. And old school donations are still accepted. I remind yet again, as we do get that question every now and then. So I will remind you, if you head over to the Comic Geek Speak site and go to comicgeekspeak.com/donate.php, the old school PayPal link is still there. And if you are not a Patreon person and would rather do it that way, you have that option. So it's there for you.
And it is our pledge to you that we will be putting your donations to good use in the near future by actually making use of that studio.
Yes.
You are helping to pay for. Plans are being made.
Yes,
plans
indeed.
are afoot.
Yes, indeed. Yep. Alrighty. So I just got the question from our guest. What's the link? So let me just go ahead and get that for him real quick. And while I do that, we might as well just catch people up on how we've been. How's life been the past couple of days, gentlemen? How's life down in Stone Harbor, Murd?
Nice and laid back and mellow and profitable. Yeah, we had a nice Father's Day yesterday, as I was telling you guys before we came on the air. We closed up shop early, took Dad out to dinner. That was nice. I am, of course, getting a greater number of comic books read now that I'm spending a lot of time sitting behind a counter.
Mm-hmm. Well, then maybe once you're back from where you are, perhaps there'll be time for some sort of spin-off episode that happens from time to time. But we'll just have to see how that turns out.
Only time will tell.
And Chris,
Levy Poo, you're a majestic hambone.
I try. Chris, a momentous day for you, sir.
Yes, my school year ended today. I'm as light as a feather. It was a hell of a slog this year, gentlemen.
Welcome to summer, my friend. Welcome to summer.
And I'm looking forward to a summer of reading, and I'm I've mentioned many times over the years that I'm working on a history podcast, which is kind of like writing a book. So that's an ongoing process,
I can
and
see the
just
similarity.
spending time with loved ones. And look who has just joined us.
Speaking of loved ones, joining us on the call right as we get started here, so excellent timing, Mr. JK Woodward. JK, your beard is just as majestic as mine right now, sir.
Hey.
How's it going, sir?
Hey, it's good. It's been a while, huh?
Yes, it has.
Welcome. Yep.
Is your internet
Waiting for you.
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay, great. Yeah, no. It has been some time, and it's honestly very, very nice to see a familiar face as we continue what kind of has been since the pandemic started as kind of like our unofficial Old Homes Week. So it's good to get on as many familiar faces as possible to the show, and you are one of those. And happy to see you, sir. Happy to see you.
It's great to be back. We should have done this a long time ago. But
Yes.
I feel like it's only been a week.
I mean, time kind of moves weirdly these days. So, I mean, if you go by Doctor Who physics, it's probably only been a week for somebody.
It's wibbly wobbly.
Exactly. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Exactly. We subscribe to that on this show. So before we get into the main previews, one of the main reasons why we have you on is why this episode is going to have a mature tag, and that is a new book that JK is putting out there into the geekosphere, as I share the cover for it right here. The Con-a-Sutra, an adult guide to full-frontal nerdity. Now, first off, how does a project like this fall into your lap, man? I'd love to know how that came about.
Well, that's a good way of putting it. It fell right into my lap.
No, trust me, there's going to be a lot of innuendos.
Yeah. Ian's already in full borscht belt mode here, so get ready.
The editor-in-chief of this company, he just started working for this company, Rob Perlman. I had worked with him a great deal on the Star Trek cruises that we would do every year, and he was sort of the we did a lot of stage work together, and that's kind of how we met. Yeah, he had this coming up, and he said, like, I think you'd be perfect for this. Are you interested in doing it? And I'm like, can I do it in pen and ink? Can I draw it like old school? Can I do it like I'm so sick of painting, to be honest. I'm so sick of painting comics. I really wanted to be like, I just want to do like, can I do it like John Buscema? Can I have a John Buscema book and draw it like that? And he's like, that would be perfect for this. So that's kind of how it happened. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, first off, congratulations on taking a break from painting. and honestly, flipping through it, I mean, it's definitely a parody book at its core, but the art is gorgeous, man. I mean, what you managed to put out there, humor and all, is some damn good draftsmanship as always. So major praise on that.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And it's the kind of art I've been wanting to do since I was 12 years old. This is the kind of comic art I always wanted to do. I always was a pen and ink guy. I just started painting because that was the only way I could get attention, because everybody else was doing this kind of work, and it's the only way I could break into the business. But this is the kind of work I always wanted to do in comics. Old school 1980s pen and ink style was my jam. It just doesn't sell. So, but well, in this case, it was perfect for this because we were kind of going back and we wanted to kind of have that look. And we even, if you look at the book, we even put like I guess a texture on it that was kind of like a newsprint texture over it. So we had to fake that, but but when you look at the book, it'll feel like you're looking at something from 1983.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I certainly noticed the Kirby dots, to say the least. Like on certain pages, those were certainly there. And you're talking to the right people when it comes to 1980s nostalgia, because I mean that's Chris's wheelhouse, that's Murd's wheelhouse, that's my wheelhouse. So yeah, you're in the right direction.
Okay, good. I'm talking to the right people. Yeah.
Yes.
Even when I paint, I try to find a way to fit Kirby Crackle in there somewhere. I actually did that with the Mirror Universe. I just finished the cover for what's upcoming Mirror Wars.
Mhm.
I don't know if you heard of this yet.
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
The cover for number 5. Wait till you see it. You won't see it for about 6 more months, but
Yeah.
but I did. Data had a Borg arm, and he's shooting Kirby Crackle right out of it.
Nice. As it should.
Right.
I mean, we were talking pre-show about how this is absolutely the sense of humor that works for Chris. So yeah, I'd love to get your thoughts and your opinions on what you've seen so far, Chris.
Well, JK, let me tell you. So I was looking this over this afternoon. I was just howling because, like you said, it has that great 80s sheen to it. Love the artwork. I mean, I've always loved your artwork in general, but the the concepts behind the different positions and just how goddamn funny they are. Who wrote the blurbs?
Well, I'm supposed to not know who the writer was.
All right, fair enough.
So yeah, I worked directly with the editor-in-chief, so I had a script originally, and me and Rob worked together trying to come up with the artwork for it. So like I did a bunch of thumbnails, send it to him. He would send it back, and I'm like, oh, what if we did this? And what if you make her ass a little bigger? You know, that kind of stuff.
Now it's first of all, the introduction is great, just explaining the whole premise of why this book needed to be made, and I emphasize that it definitely needed to be made.
Yep.
And then just like just the concepts behind the different positions. Like Invisible Jet was one of my favorites, for example. But
I still have the artwork for that.
Nice.
Just outstanding stuff, man. Just really
my favorite was the standing Lee.
Yes. This one stuck out to me, to be entirely honest with you. Just like right at the beginning there.
Yes.
Just getting to the fanboy right away. with the, it stuck. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna be laughing throughout this.
By the way, that was my writing. That wasn't in the script. I just put that in there.
I mean, it basically wrote itself. I mean, come on. Now, I mean, since you did have a hand in writing at least some of it, I mean, was it a back and forth on the punalicious titles as well, or was that all Mr. XX Xavier?
That was Triple X Xavier. All of that. It was, like I said, it was already written. And then me and Rob would go over and decide what artwork would go best with it. And and yeah, like we would definitely, like, I think a couple of the titles changed. So that I don't know if that was XX Xavier or Rob. But I think we definitely did change a few things while we were like working on the artwork. So
I think
we were all like channeling our inner 12-year-old.
Oh, sure.
Working on this, pretty much.
I mean, speaking of 12-year-olds, this particular page here, I won't give away the whole thing, but like this series of pages here with the Wayne Manor, pretend to be dead until your child leaves the room, and then to have this image.
Pretend to have been like criminals until.
I lost my shit drawing this. I was like, it's just so my sense of humor. It's really morbid.
And part of me is thinking to myself, like, there has to be a superhero there out there that thinks his parents are dead, when in reality they just didn't want him around.
Just wanted some privacy.
Exactly.
It was, the funny thing about this drawing is I had a lot more blood in it originally.
Okay.
And Rob was like, nah, That's a little too much blood. In fact, could you put like a something on the bed that says raspberry lube?
Oh my God, amazing.
So that's not blood, that's raspberry lube.
and this also, like, this is another one of those pages that shows the texturing, I think, the best. Of like trying to look as, like, you know, Frank Miller-esque as possible, like with that 80s look. Yep.
It's funny, the dots that you see, I made those in Photoshop.
Oh wow.
So I actually have a file of medium dots, large dots, little dots.
Oh my God. And that's what it takes, ladies and gentlemen, to make a comic book these days. Big dots, little dots.
It's a lot of work to look like it's old.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Murd, any standout favorites for you?
Well, actually, you went right to the one that I think I like the best. That one was nice.
You're a sick man, Murdo.
In my own way, I suppose. But JK, I did catch the self-portrait you sneaked in here, though. And I'm not going to tell the readers which one it appears under. But it's also one of the times.
It was a Back to the Future. And by the way, that's my girlfriend in there.
Go figure.
The one giving me the hand job? Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's actually a lot. We put a lot of our friends in this book, which we didn't even ask their permission when they're just in there.
I'm sure everyone's going to be thrilled. Yeah.
No. One of my favorites was Erin McDonald, who's just a brilliant astrophysicist, and we met her on a Star Trek tour because she was on the Star Trek cruises with us, and she actually talks about the real physics of Star Trek, how it works. She's an actual astrophysicist, and yeah, we put her in there. Job of the butt. She's the girl.
So I have a question. How is this book going to be marketed?
I don't know. I mean,
that's not his department.
That's not up to me. I just come on these shows and talk about it. That's all. And draw the things.
Clearly, that's your answer right there. As many shows as possible that can get the word out there, then bada boom.
I will say this. Go ahead, JK.
Yeah. We do have a lot of quotes from for the book, and one of them was Erin McDonald. She found out she was in the book and gave us a really good quote. So that gives us a little credibility. It's not just a sophomoric little joke book. It's now smart people read it. But then we kind of ruined that by having Daryl give us a quote.
Oh no. Oh, why'd you go and do that? Come on, you should know better by now.
Well, we rewrote it.
So. Okay, all right, good.
Yeah, we just put his name on it.
Yeah, so all the curses and sighs were taken out. Got it. Okay, great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but basically, yeah, we just had a bunch of nerds, and we should have called you guys. We should have got some quotes from you, but we pretty much just had everybody that like gets that kind of humor give a quote, and that's kind of how we're marketing the book. I think
Nice.
we're going exactly to this audience.
Oh yeah, the ones with senses of humor. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and also who get the jokes, because it's definitely, there's some deep cuts in some of them. They're not going to get everything, but if you do, it's that much better.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. What were we going to say earlier?
Well, just as far as the marketing goes, I was wondering if I might read the solicitation copy from a few previews catalogs ago.
Sure.
Yep, this was from number 391, the April book. Under Smart Pop, which is the publisher, the Con-a-Sutra, an adult guide to full-frontal nerdity, hardcover. For everyone who's a geek in the streets, a freak in the Star Wars sheets, or wants to be, comes a guide for nerds by nerds. Today's nerds are loud, proud, and thirsty. They step away from their action figure collections and toward the infinitely diverse collection of like-minded folk who are as turned on by cosplay as they are by foreplay. But as knowledgeable as they are, nerds aren't always experts when it comes to the logistics of sex. Enter the Con-a-Sutra, a guide to full-frontal nerdity. Noted fictional sexpert Professor Balls Triple Xavier literally and figuratively illustrates the wildest fantasies through a series of hilarious, if occasionally unachievable, sexual positions. The Con-a-Sutra recognizes that nerds come in all body types, gender identities, and sexual orientations. And yes, that's a very good idea to be inclusive that way. I was pleased to see that it was not all.
That is actually a very important. Yeah, it's actually a very important point to make about the book, because it's not a heteronormative book. It's definitely like very inclusive. So there's several different genders, homosexual stuff, lesbian stuff. It's not just a straight man's guide to fucking. Can I say?
I would hope so. It's already going to be a mature podcast.
You're fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Murd, as always, Murd, nobody reads copy better.
Oh, yes. Clearly, that's the mistake you made, is not having Murd just straight up read it to begin with, and then come on. I'll go to one more of my favorites real quick, just to pop up there. This one in particular, I mean, talking about, something for everybody, the game of boners. Keep your partner abreast of current events by sex-positionally expounding on everything that has happened up to that point. You'll be coming by winter, spring at the latest. Love it.
This was a lot of fun to draw. I've been waiting my whole life to draw a man mansplaining something to a woman while naked. That's kind of what we're looking at here.
Exactly.
So you see what happened there was, it's called an orgasm.
I learned about it on page 86.
The other thing too is because of Game of Thrones, I tried to make them look like they were brother and sister.
Outstanding.
Yeah. So there's a reason they look kind of alike.
Got it. Yeah. Just job well done, man.
Yeah. Well,
Fantastic. So is it out now, or is it soon to be out?
Well, when does this air?
Let's see. This week.
This week. Okay. Yeah. 29th comes out.
29th. Okay.
All right.
Great. All right. Cool.
So,
yeah. Well, then what a perfect time to have Murd read your copy, because that's
also, yeah. This weekend I'll actually be at Comic-Con in Albuquerque, and I'll have like pre-copies. I have the early copies, so I'll be selling them there on the 26th. So if you want it 3 days early, you have to come to Albuquerque.
Which begs the question, since we're kind of leading into it, how's it feel to be back at cons? Like, I mean, I know you hit one in Jersey not too long ago, but
right.
I mean, this has got to be like it's about time, right?
Oh my God, I was losing my mind. Well, first off, I moved from Los Angeles to the most boring place in the world. It's called New England. And right at that time, the pandemic struck, and I couldn't leave New England. So I was stuck there. Like, I don't care where I live, as long as I get to leave at least one weekend a month and go to these cons. I mean, I kind of rely on that. Didn't happen for like a year enough, and it's just happening now. And oh my God, I'm coming back to life.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. Yeah. I don't care. You invite me to a con, I'll show up. I don't even care if it's a lame one. I'll be there just to get out of the house.
Did you hear that, lame con? Did you hear that? I'm sure there is a lame con.
God, Woodward.
Boy, I'm gonna get like angry phone calls now. Yeah, this is a lame con.
Oh man, but no. In all seriousness, I'm exactly where you are at this point. I've
Yeah.
It's the longest I've gone without going to conventions in over 15 years, and it's weird. That's all I can say. Weird.
I didn't realize how much I relied on this to like keep me sane, because I will sit here in the studio and I'll work, like 20-hour days, and then that's my whole life. And it's kind of at least 1 week in a month I get to travel. And when that stopped, when the con stopped, I was just like, the reality of sitting at home working all the time kind of kicked in.
And as a everybody guy myself, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And everybody else was starting to complain about that, like, oh, you don't know what it's like to be sitting in your house all day working because of the pandemic. I'm like, no, that was my life before the pandemic.
Yeah.
But the only relief I got was 1 weekend a month I would end up, in some other city. And I like traveling. I'm not like one of those people like, oh, I hate it. I love it. I love being on the plane. I love drinking at noon. Everything that it entails. I mean, it was a rough year and a half.
Yeah.
Not having that. And I think everybody feels that way.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, to be honest, without the podcast here, I mean, without actually being able to talk to people who don't live in my home, once or twice a week, like that's helped a lot, like these type of conversations and these type of scenarios. Because I mean, I got in one con right before everything went down. It was in February. It was PAX East in Boston. That was the same weekend as C2E2, and that's when everything shut down. So yeah, it's been over almost a year and a half at this point since I've gone that thing, and it's a culture shock.
Yeah. My last one was the Star Trek cruise. I just got off the boat, which is the worst place in a pandemic to be.
Oh my God.
But I just got off I think it was March 15th.
Wow, you just made it. Holy man.
That was when I got off the boat. Yeah. And then I right after that, I went to California, rented a RV, and moved across the country. Like,
oh my God.
And by the time we got to we were going to visit Daryl in New York, and I'm like, yeah, the whole city's shut down. Don't come here. I'm like, oh, like we had no idea. We were just like out in the wilderness traveling, and the whole world was falling apart. We didn't even know.
It's really funny you say March 15th, because that was the day that they announced the shutdown of New York City. Like that was the day.
Yep.
So that's amazing timing on your part to not still be on the boat. That was good.
Yeah. Well, it was perfect timing, because then we didn't have to see Daryl.
Oh. Somewhere he just sneezed. He knows that we're talking about him. We love you, Daryl. We love you. I miss you. I haven't seen you in a while.
He recently had his first pot brownie. I don't know if you've been on Twitter.
Whoa! Oh my! That must have been an experience. I'm sure he went from being mellow to even more mellow.
I can show you the text. Yeah, that's what I said. It's like if somebody doesn't need to be on pot, it's him.
Yeah. I mean, he already sounds pretty deep and low and relaxing to begin with. So I mean,
he's got this smooth voice.
Yes, he does. If there's one person that I feel like in podcasting has a smoother, deeper voice than me, it's Daryl. So that's the way I put it. That's absolutely the way I put it. And you're still podcasting with him, right? You're doing your Star Trek show and a bunch of other stuff, right?
Yeah, go check yourself. We do that like every week, when the shows are on. We review the shows, but when the shows aren't on, we do them like maybe once a month, and we just have like guests, like different Star Trek writers and stuff come on, and sometimes actors. We had Mary Chieffo on the show, which she's like my favorite.
She's from Discovery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
she's the Klingon.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, got it. Nice. Yeah. I mean, that's super awesome. And as somebody who is getting back into Trek and just saw the trailer for Picard season 2, I'm very much in a Trek mood again. So that's That's all good.
No, I got really excited when I saw that. Seeing
Yep.
Delancey come back as Q was awesome.
Oh yeah.
And people are already complaining, like, why would he change his look? It's like in the pilot episode, he changed his look 3 times.
That's serious.
In that one episode.
He's freaking
it's like,
Q. It's what he does.
it's exactly what he does.
Shape-shifting trickster, yeah.
Yeah, come on.
He's the Loki of the Star Trek universe.
Exactly.
It's fantastic timing.
When is that show coming out, Ian?
I think later this year, if I remember correctly. Let me see if it has an actual like set return date. But they did, now that the first trailer is out, I assume it's happening soon. Let's see, Picard season 2, expected early 2022. So I would assume January 2022. Looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
All right, JK, before we get into our main previews here, any final thoughts on the book? And if you want to give a plug out one more time to, where they can find it, and also any social media and all that jazz, you're welcome to it.
Well, you can find it on the internet.
What?
Apart from that, I don't know. But actually, I'll send you the link if you want to put it in the show notes or something.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it is on Amazon for pre-order. That much I know.
Okay.
So it is there and at a bunch of other bookstores. So you can just put in the.
And if you want a signed copy,
Sutra.
If you want a signed copy and you're in the Albuquerque area this weekend, you can get an early one. I'll be selling them there.
Nice.
Yeah. Other than that, also we have a new Star Trek book coming out called The Mirror Wars. I think we talked briefly about that. So keep your eye open. It might be in this previews that you guys are talking about. Which, by the way, I'm sorry I can't stay for because I've been up for 24 hours working. So
that's
I need
fine.
to go to bed. So I am about to pass out. but yeah, if
all good.
If you see it, it's called Mirror Wars. It's going to be 8-issue series. I actually was offered the job and turned it down because it's 8 issues is hard to do. So I'm doing the covers though, and designing the characters. So
and I'll say your designs for the Mirror Next Generation universe are still to this day some of my favorite.
Magnificent
Mirror universe designs, man. They're so good.
And JK, I should also point out, I still will go back to and just cherish when you did that Ellison's version of City on the Edge of Forever. That is a magnificent piece of work.
I still have that image on my desktop, as a matter of fact.
Tremendous.
We still have the image of JK about to say a word because I think he froze on us. There we go. You're
back?
You're back. You were frozen there for a minute.
It says my internet is unstable.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll get this in quick. We were just saying that we loved your designs on the Next Generation Mirror Universe characters, and he loved your City on the Edge of Forever.
Yeah. I was sitting there talking to you. Apparently, you didn't hear me, but that was a great joy for me because I got to meet Harlan Ellison just before he died, and it was my dream to meet him. We became actually good friends afterwards. We hung out for like a year after that. And,
wonderful.
Yeah, and I was scared to death to meet him because he has that reputation.
Right.
But when I met him, he's actually really a nice guy, and I don't think people see that side of him enough. So
very cool, and yes. Picard with the guns, like with the muscles, that's my jam. That's absolutely my jam, man. And the Geordie too that you threw out there, like pretty much anything like almost like steampunk-esque in some ways was just so delightful for the nerd in me. That was fantastic, man.
I put a lot of Viking lore into it too. Like people have braids like number one has that like braided beard with little Celtic beads in it. I try to get all these warrior imagery and everything. We're recently bringing back what's that character's name? Shelby. Remember Shelby?
Oh yeah.
She was in one. Yeah, yep. She's a badass in the Mirror Universe, and she has got this braid coming down her hair with little things in it, little Celtic bead.
That's my favorite thing about the Mirror Universe is that characters that could otherwise be forgettable or mean something because it's the Mirror Universe. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And everybody lifts weights in the Mirror Universe.
Yes. Even Janeway, for that matter, because I've seen the Mirror Janeway too, and that
I gave her like Ronda Rousey body.
Yep. Fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, and actually, what's her name? I'm trying to remember the actress's name. Janeway. Anyways, she was on the cruise, and she's like, "You made us all look so good. Thank you." So that was approved. She liked the Ronda Rousey build I gave her.
Nice. Kate Mulgrew is her name.
Yep.
Kate Mulgrew.
Kate Mulgrew. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed that I forgot that.
I default to character names all the time myself. Like I have to remember like no, you're a person in real life. You're not just Picard. Your name is not just Picard. So
William Shatner hates it when you call him Captain Kirk.
In that case, I will remember to call him Captain Kirk. That's
always.
Yes, always. If anybody deserves to be to be named wrong for the craziness that he's pulled over the years, it would be Captain Kirk. That's right. His name is Captain Kirk. All right, man. We won't make you stay up too late because now that I know you've been up for 24 hours, go get some sleep, man.
I am barely keeping my eyes open right now.
Well, thanks, JK.
Thank you so much for coming on, man. And, and once again,
the
book is the Con-a-Sutra, and you can find it on Amazon and a bunch of other places, and we'll have it in the show notes as well. So take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
Take care, sir.
Our pleasure.
Take care, guys.
Good night, JK.
All righty. And with that, we will soldier on with previews here. JK figures out how to exit. There we go. Well, all righty.
Working 24 hours. That's
my God. You're damn right. Yeah, because now I'm like, all right, we kept him up exactly like 25 minutes. I hope he sleeps for the next 12 because that's well needed at this point. All right, let's go ahead and get previews going here. Let me scroll down all the way to image because I don't think we have anything in between there. And I will give the final reminder, by the way, that Free Comic Book Day is, well, not final because we'll probably mention it next month too, but Free Comic Book Day is going to be August 14th, 2021. Mark your calendars if you have not done so yet. And go support your local comic shop however you can. So, good times. All right, over to image. And here we are starting off with J.H. Williams.
Yes.
J.H. Williams and Dave Stewart, Echolands #1. To say the least, a gem of the month because it's J.H. Williams. What else do you have to say? And Dave Stewart. I mean, come on.
Yes. Caliph of colors himself.
Yes, absolutely. And it's a major Image Comics 2021 event, as they have to, double down on. It's an all-new ongoing series, joined by Dave Stewart on colors, Todd Klein on letterer. So they've got an all-star letterer with them as well on this one. And it's set in a bizarre future world that has forgotten its history. A reckless thief, Hope Red Hood, holds the key to excavating its dark, strange past. If only she and her crew can escape a tyrannical wizard and his unstoppable daughter. Love the name, Hope Redwood. And love the art.
Yeah, art is beautiful.
Oh my God. Nothing better. Nothing.
This is all going down on pages 40 through approximately 42.
Yes.
Following along at home, want to see what we're drooling over right now.
Oh my God, yes. And it's just so delightful. And the Adam Strange-esque character in the corner there.
And the anthropomorphic hamburger.
Yep, and the anthropomorphic hamburger. Can't forget
Flying
that.
through the sky, yes.
Yep, on page 42 specifically. In general, nobody beats him on artwork. I have been such a huge fan of J.H. Williams for so long, and I feel his Batwoman work was so underappreciated until we actually got the Batwoman series to kind of remind people about it, because although it's gorgeous, it got forgotten for a little while. With New 52, it was sort of sidelined a bit, and he didn't actually get to finish the story that he was telling. And I'm so happy to see him back, especially at a publisher like Image that's going to treat him right. Can't wait to see what this is going to be like.
Let's see. Echolands is a landscape format. That's an interesting thing to note.
Ooh.
Mythic fiction epic where anything is possible. A fast-paced genre mashup adventure that combines everything from horror movie vampires to classic mobsters and cyborg elves to Roman demigods and retro rocket ships. It's going to be one hell of a ride. And so, yeah, it's, as Ian said, the artwork, the fact that this is, it's Williams with Stewart colors and a writing assist from W. Hayden Blackman. I mean, it's the creative teams alone are enough to sell this. But when you look at the samples here and you read the copy, and you can see that this is basically Little Red Riding Hood skipping through Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club land. And this psychedelic apocalyptic landscape peopled with every different pop culture image that Stewart could think of, Williams could think of to draw. It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be trippy fun. We don't even really need to know what it's about beyond this.
Yeah. It might as well be titled Eisner the series, because like it's guaranteed to win an Eisner Award of some sort. Once this is published and released, because oh man, you can't get better than that. You can't. Good times. Meanwhile, on the very next set of pages, page 44, he's not just Spawn, he's King Spawn. Part of the Spawn universe. After all these years, Todd McFarlane was like, hey, Spawn still exists. Let's make 3 more books. And that's what they decided to do here. Sean Lewis and Todd McFarlane on writing duties, along with Javier Fernandez, Brett Booth, Philip Tan, Todd McFarlane, Marcio Takara, Steven Segovia, all-stars, absolute all-stars. The first time since 1992, a new ongoing Spawn series was launched. Wow. Outrageous and thrilling at the same time, because I'm not the biggest Spawn guy, but just the fact that they kept it one series until 1992 is amazing when you think about it.
Well, is the main Spawn series is still running, correct?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. This is all part of a major expansion of Spawn, as it's been selling very well lately. And Todd noticed, and he's like, "All right, let's X-Men this thing. Let's get 3 or 4 more books out there and make a universe." And here's hoping it works out for him. I really do. Page 44, and then we've got some of the artwork on the next few pages. Gorgeous artwork. Artwork I would expect from almost like a Batman book rather than a Spawn book.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Very, very dark and gritty, and also grounded, and yeah, I'm loving it. Until there's a giant explosion on page 47, and that's more Spawn. That's more Spawn than Batman. But yeah, happy to see it. Speaking of Image founders, by the way, Ant number 1. Eric Larson. It was a very old school looking cover as well.
Yes.
Ant's epic adventure kicks off with this all new origin issue, a new ongoing title by the one and only Eric Larson on page 48. Wow, that's all I have to say.
Ant is an existing character though, correct?
I'm pretty sure she is. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I think I believe so too. I think in the Spawn universe, but don't quote me on that. It may very well be in the Savage Dragon verse, if they're separate. I'm not sure if they are anymore. But yeah, either way, 2 Image stalwarts, from the beginning of it all, putting out new stuff. God, every page of Image wants me to read it right now. This is crazy.
Scotty Young.
Page 50, Scotty Young. Yeah, Scotty Young on writing, Jorge Corona on artwork. The Me You Love in the Dark 5-issue miniseries from Scotty and Jorge. It's the follow-up to Middle West, which was incredibly critically acclaimed. Heard a lot of people talking about it. It's described as, fans of Stephen King and Neil Gaiman will enjoy this beautifully dark and disturbing story of discovery, love, and terror. Clearly, I have to read Middle West so I can catch up on this, because this looks, again, excellent, and the preview pages are once again
stunning.
gorgeous.
Stunning.
Love it. Yep.
Again, we say this all the time, but Image is the company, man. Like there's such exciting stuff coming out month after month, so many different genres. It's just, and I think anyone who really loves the comic book medium, this is the company to turn to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Have any of you heard of Max Bertolini?
I have not.
Because you sure have now. Page 52. He's the artist on this new series, Second Chances, written by Ricky Mamoni, I believe it's pronounced. And it's a psychedelic, action-packed, bizarre noir that feels like John Wick punching through an existential French New Wave fever dream. You
had me with psychedelic and noir, so we're good.
Yes, absolutely.
The noir really comes through in the sample art, which is in gorgeous black and white.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Such detail on that black and white artwork, too. My, oh, my.
Yeah, the story itself sounds like it might be interesting, too. It's about a guy named LeBlanc who has started a hotline that specializes in setting up new identities for people who need them. His policy is he only gives them to people who have the right amount of cash, a proper referral, and a good, justifiable reason for wanting this. And then he gets a client who's got some dirt on him who fits none of these prerequisites. And I guess the story is about what LeBlanc has to do from there.
Interesting. Very cool. All right. Let's scroll down a little bit here, gents. Anything else from Image?
I wanted to point out, I mean, again, I just have to say it every month. So on page 61, you've got the 7th issue of Radiant Black.
Mm-hmm.
And a little bit later on in the Image section, they have the first trade.
Good. Good, because I'm buying it.
Yeah. So again, I was talking in one of our recent episodes about the latest issue. It just blows off the top of your head because it just completely pivots, and everything you thought is now changed.
Yep.
And indelible change. Not it's like they're gonna no. It's not. This is not like a corporate company thing. There's the trade. Yep.
Yep. Page 69 of all pages. Nice. For Radiant Black Volume 1.
Yeah. So again, I keep repeating myself because I really want people to read this book. It is the most exciting superhero comic being made right now. Clearly, the Kyle Higgins, it's his vision. He has it well in hand. Talking more about him because he's also be writing Darkhawk, Ian. In the
somewhere Raphael Suhu is a smiling man.
Yeah. So Radiant Black. Anybody who loves the superhero genre, you got to read this book.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The perfect superhero comic for anyone missing Invincible, it says on the front cover for Radiant Black Volume 1. As if I wasn't sold enough. I mean, come on.
By the way, Ian,
saying that too.
Yeah. And by the way, Ian, I'll be picking up Invincible volumes this week to begin my mission.
Fantastic. Cannot wait, sir. Cannot wait.
Also on page right there, Ian, on page 70.
Mm-hmm.
So I read the first of Two Moons. I read the first 2 issues of this. I really enjoyed it. And then I decided I was going to get the trade when it comes out. The artwork is absolutely breathtaking. It takes place during the American Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a Union soldier who has Indian heritage and how that heritage starts to have an impact on his experiences in the war. Excellent writer, John Arcudi.
Yep.
I really love the first 2 issues. I'm looking forward to getting the trade.
Absolutely. All right. Anything else in Image of note?
No saga. There's no saga.
What? No saga? What? What? That's crazy talk. I thought that was a monthly book.
Ian, didn't you recommend The Department of Truth?
Yes, I have not recommended it because I haven't read it yet. However, a bunch of people I know were very positive on it, and I think I picked up a cheap digital trade of it, if I remember correctly. So I am going to have to check that out. I meant to pick up the now I remember I meant to pick up the trade when I was in Brooklyn, and they didn't have it. So somebody who went there after me, I'm sure, was able to pick it up because I basically reminded them to reorder it. Department of Truth number 12 here, which means that we should have a second trade coming shortly, as 6 issues per trade, or at least that is the standard these days.
Oh, you know what? You also recommended, or maybe it was Murd recommended Philadelphia. Who recommended that book?
That
was
would have been me.
Okay, so that's on page 60, the latest issue of that. That's another trade I want to pick up because I know Murd really praised that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Firepower, I'll point out as well, just because that's something I really need to catch up on, because that's another one that everybody keeps talking about as one of the best books out there right now. Kirkman and Somni. I mean, you can't get better than that. You really can't. And issue 14, solicited on page 76. All right. Anything else from Image, gents?
I would just mention again on page 87, the Zdarsky and Perez Stillwater.
Ah, yes.
I just read the latest issue of that this past month. I can't imagine we're not going to see that on television eventually.
I'm sure.
It's so the premise is so gripping and compelling, and the characters are so well realized, and there's just so many things you can do with this notion of this concept of a town that where if you live within its borders, you don't age, and they can go in so many different directions with that. It's magnificent.
Speaking of Zdarsky, by the way, I read the first issue of his What If, and it was everything you said it was.
Yes.
I picked up the next 2 issues digitally as well, and I've got the first issue of the Fantastic Four miniseries as well. So it's going to be a fun couple of days for me coming up.
Oh, Levypoo, I'm so glad you of course refer to the Spider-Man What If that he's doing.
Yes, indeed. Yep. And then the Fantastic Four one is not written by him, but it's the next one in the Life Story saga.
Also excellent. I look forward to your reaction.
Yep, definitely. All right.
Dark Horse.
Over to Dark Horse.
Couple of notes a couple of notes for fans of Rick and Morty. On page 56 and 57, we've got a 5-issue miniseries based on the Justin Roiland developed video game series Trover Saves the Universe. All the main characters are people with other people for eyeballs. That gives you an idea of the kind of Rick and Morty-ish weirdness you can expect from that. So if you like Rick and Morty, or if you've played the video games, here's something of an adaptation.
Yep.
And then on page 67, from Kyle Starks, writer and artist, who's done a lot of work for the Rick and Morty comics put out by Oni Press, we have a graphic novel called Old Head. There it is. Described as Space Jam meets Fright Night. A former basketball star versus Dracula.
You know that I think you just sold me on it with those words alone. That's fantastic.
Actual Dracula, as the comic calls it.
For fans of both Rick and Morty and Dracula, mother effer.
I just read that.
Ah, nice.
I'll talk about that in next comic talk.
Oh,
excellent.
My. Leave me in suspense, why don't you?
Dracula Blay. All right, now let's head over to Dark Horse. See what offerings they have for us this month.
Well, the offering that matters is on page 94.
Ooh, I had a piece of good news from page 85 that should probably be shared.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Chris, you'd been praising the silver coin a little while ago.
Yes, I have. The first issue, at least, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, well, it has now officially been made an ongoing anthology.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yes. Good point.
Oh, great.
Yep, with issue 5, written and drawn by one Michael Walsh.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
If anybody missed our discussion of it, so the premise of the story is that there's this coin that has these mystical or supernatural properties that seem to, endow the person using the coin with good fortune in various ways. But of course, in any story like this, there's always a price.
The coin giveth and the coin taketh away.
Exactly. And then, I've only read the first issue by Zdarsky, which was great, but you imagine that then the coin's probably going to travel to different, people in different environments.
Mm-hmm.
But first issue was wonderful.
Excellent. All right, page 94. The Unbelievable Unchained.
It's Black Hammer. It's Jeff Lemire.
Yep. What else is there to say? I'm assuming
it's kind of his take on
maybe it's his version of the X-Men.
Yeah, X-Men / Doom Patrol / like the Unmen from Swamp Thing, I guess. But the whole thing is done with an added layer of meta, because it, even more so than some of the things that have happened in the Black Hammer universe, this is really dealing with the boundaries between reality and fiction. It's going to be about a young woman who thinks she's created this team of characters until one of them tracks her down and tells her she was actually a member of this team of characters.
Oh, Murd, this is right up your alley.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I will be buying this one. Yeah,
Of course you will.
We all will.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
boy. Yep. Man, these are some of my favorite types of stories. I mean, one of my favorite episodes of Batman the Animated Series back in the day was the one where he was trapped in the dream world, and he kept getting flashes of being this Batman guy, but he wasn't quite sure, whether he was or whether he's not, because his parents are right there and everything's fine, but something feels wrong, something feels off, and those are my favorite stories, when something feels off and there's a hidden truth behind it. Terrific stuff.
I have to wonder if in Levinstein's saga, how there were moments where things were so off that he doubted his own reality. Ian, I'm a little concerned.
I'm sorry. Who said that? Was it a nebulous blob, or was it? That's the question. Hey, how about
Put in the
this?
assassin.
Oh yeah, Killer Queens. Putting the assassin is right. Number 1 of 4. Got this one written by David M. Booher, and Claudia Balboni on art. Matt and Alex are reformed intergalactic assassins for hire. On the run. Also super gay. Their former boss, a fluffy monkey with a jetpack, is hot on their tail to take back his stolen ship. I don't need to read anymore. This is fantastic. It's like Ace and Gary in comic book form right here in space. It's fantastic. What's everybody looking at?
Nothing.
I love the cover. It almost has like this old pulp school feel to it.
Oh,
like the old
absolutely.
magazines from the 1930s and 40s.
Yep.
Logo to it is definitely Silver Agey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's brought to us by an all LGBTQ creative team.
Fantastic. And darn tasty looking artwork as well.
Mm-hmm.
Page 98 main solicitation, and then you get the preview page on the very next page.
So I must have missed our discussion. The Kevin Smith Masters of the Universe.
Ah, yes. You had not joined us yet for previews.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what do we know? What do we know about that?
We know that the first trailer has come out, and it looks very Masters of the Universe-y. Like it's
Bonnie Tyler's holding out for a hero.
Yep, exactly. It looks fantastic. I think they have the spirit of it down more than anything else from the looks of the preview trailer here. And I mentioned on last previews, Chris, that there's also still a separate CGI project completely unrelated to this that might be coming in movie form of Masters of the Universe sometime soon. Also owned by Netflix. So I don't know if that's ever going to wind up materializing, but we get the Kevin Smith animated series first, and I look forward to it. I think it's going to be great.
And of course, this comic as well.
Yes, indeed. Yep, acting as the precursor.
And when does the animated series start?
Animated series starts, I think, this summer, if I remember correctly. Okay. I'll look up the actual release date, but it's sooner than later, because they've definitely, once Netflix starts advertising something, it's never more than a few months away.
All right.
Yep. Actually, yeah, very close. July 23rd is the first episode. So we are not that far.
I feel like Kevin Smith hasn't done a comic in a while. Am I correct in saying that?
It has been a while, yeah. Okay. I think he wrote a short story in one of the like Daredevil anniversary issues that came out somewhat recently, but really have not seen a lot from him of note of late.
I want to say there was a little Clerks project a little while ago to tie into Clerks 2.
Yeah, that might have been it too. Yeah. And now there might be a Clerks 3 on the horizon.
We've been hearing about that for years in different
I know.
forms.
over and over again.
I hope so, because Clerks 2 is my favorite View Askew movie.
Yep.
So.
Page 106, by the way, we have Enigma, the definitive
Peter Milligan
edition.
and Duncan Fagre. Oh, what a team!
Oh, so good, so good. And this is a re-release, but a delicious looking edition of it. It's considered a classic and groundbreaking graphic novel for its LGBTQIA themes when first released, featuring the first gay superhero in mainstream comics. Page 106.
Wait, I'm sorry. Was it
Vertigo?
a Vertigo book originally? It was, wasn't it?
I think it was. I think it was, but Berger Books, and I think that's enough said right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Berger took it with her essentially when she left DC, and that was a time when Vertigo contracts were written very differently, and it was a lot easier to take your work with you. So I assume that's probably what happened here.
All right.
Yep.
What else, gentlemen?
Well, this is interesting miniseries here on page 108 that Ian's got showing on the screen here. It's written by Cullen Bunn with art by Fran Gallen. It's called Lucky Devil, and it's kind of a revenge fantasy. It's about this poor schlubby 3-time loser who gets possessed by a devil. Just indicative of the kind of luck he's had in life. But then the devil's exorcised, but leaves most of his powers behind in this poor guy's body, and he immediately sets about using said powers to, settle a few scores, shall we say. And along the way, he develops a cult following, becomes something like a god on Earth, and that's when the forces of hell take notice and decide to come after him and repossess the powers left behind when he was possessed. That sounds like an interesting concept, and it's from a writer I think we've all come to associate
absolutely.
quality storytelling. So
Yep.
I think I might give Lucky Devil a try.
Yep. Yeah, it's a 4-issue mini, so will be very easy to pick up collected at some point as well. So this just gets my eye immediately for the blurb from the one Gail Simone saying it's breathless and bloody. The trade paperback of Mafiosa by Sunshine Barbito and Alessa Alfano. It's collecting a story about the height of the Roaring 20s. The daughter of a mafia boss is determined to rise to prominence in her family's business. Nicoletta has aspirations to join her brothers in the family business, organized crime syndicate running the streets of Brooklyn. And through her father, though her father objects and a crisis ensues, she takes it upon herself to prove she has what it takes, moving steadfastly into a world of brutality. Page 109.
It's a great cover.
Love the cover. Love the premise. Screams movie to me. And we'll see whether or not they do something about that. But page 109, Mafiosa.
I want to put it on page 111. We should always take some time to note periodically that Dark Horse now has the license for the EC property.
Ah, yes.
And they're reprinting, the various archive editions of the hardcovers. They're featuring this month Frontline Combat Volume 3. If you're a fan of war comics, of military history, these are tremendous books because these are all pre-code books. Remember, the Comics Code was introduced in part by the other companies to try to, sort of neuter their competition at EC. So the history goes, but their war comics are superb, and they're very visceral, and again they're pre-code. So I really recommend them if you're interested in that type of material.
Indeed. Page 114 also has the trade paperback collection of the Dark Horse Book of Horror. So if you were looking forward to reading something with some of the greatest horror writers in comics, Mike Mignola, Evan Dorkin, Jill Thompson, Gary Gianni, Robert E. Howard, and more. Originally released as part of Dark Horse Book of Monsters, Dark Horse Book of Witchcraft, and so on. This is now the trade paperback collection of the Dark Horse Book of Horror on page 114.
Anything else for Dark Horse Brothers?
I will say page 116 is groovy, baby. The Evil Dead 40th Anniversary Edition hardcover. It's reliving Ash's first visit to the cabin in comic book form here. Mark Verheiden.
Oh, John Bolton. Wow.
John Bolton.
Oh.
Exactly. Like, damn. that is a terrific group of people to put onto comic book form one of the most fun movies that's ever existed. The Evil Dead, the original 40th anniversary edition, page 116. All right, and I think that's it for me. Murd, you got anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, in that case, over to DC. And we begin with Batman. Azzarello and Bermejo reteaming for Batman the World on page 1.
Stunning cover.
Indeed. Original Batman project launches worldwide on Tuesday, September 14th, 2021, and the complete anthology will be localized to the following international territories: North America, France, Spain, Italy, Germany, the Czech Republic, Russia, Poland, Turkey, Mexico, Brazil, China, Korea, and Japan. Global collaboration, the first of its kind for DC. Now that sounds awesome. Again, it's not just Azzarello and Bermejo. It's a bunch of different writers from across the world all gathering together to create one epic anthology here. Batman the World.
Wow.
Suddenly producing Batman comics has become an Olympic event, it seems.
Indeed. Yep. You'd think there were Olympics coming out or something.
Nah. Ian, I really missed you.
check out the check out the art too. I mean, the USA. I mean, yeah, we know what Vermejo looks like, but look at this Russia art we have here. That looks stunning. Got some France in there and China. Completely different styles of artwork and completely different styles of Batman. I'm digging it. I may very well wind up picking this one up.
Mm-hmm. As soon as it's out in softcover, I will definitely pick it up.
Excellent. Speaking of Batman, hey, look, a crossover. Batman Fear State Alpha #1. It's James Tynion IV, so it's bound to be, excellent. But Riccardo Federici on artwork as well. 1 year in the making, Fear State settles upon Gotham City, and no one is safe. Overwhelmed by the dual threat of the Scarecrow and Peacekeeper 1, Batman and his allies have been one step behind since the events of Infinite Frontier #0, with the arrival of a mysterious anti-Oracle and the return of Poison Ivy. Batman might have more than he can handle. The anti-Oracle. That has me intrigued.
Yeah. We've had a couple of those.
We have. Cool Master was one, I remember.
Yep, Calculator was one.
Yep.
And the Benson sisters introduced that Gus Yale character who eventually joined the Birds of Prey.
That's a good point. Yep. Digging the concept artwork on the designs on the next few pages. Page 5 has a bunch of them. And then John Ridley continues on his Batman run. I Am Batman #0. Future State gave us Jace Fox, and now we get more of him on page 6.
We'll be talking about John Ridley when we get to the Marvel section as well.
Yep. This is a big month for Mr. Ridley.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And oh my God, Travel Foreman, you are so good. That's so great. He's one of my favorite artists in comics right now. Like everything he draws is just so epic in scope. Perfect artist to be joining him on here. He's kind of like a almost John Romita Jr.-esque at times, with some better faces. Because I've never been too big a fan of John Romita Jr.'s faces, and I think Travel Foreman gets that rounded nicely.
I see what you're saying about reminding you of Romita Jr.'s style. Yeah.
Yep, definitely. And then Batman, the next Batman Second Son collected on page 8 in hardcover form. Sure, there will be a soft cover soon enough. But here's the star, ladies and gentlemen. On page 9, we get more milestone returns. Hardware Season 1. Brandon Thomas, Dennis Cohen, and Bill Sienkiewicz.
Wow. What a team.
Beautiful. So happy to see Milestone back. It's been way too long. And Hardware's always been one of the cooler characters. Page 9 on that one. Oh.
So they're incorporating Lock and Key into the Sandman universe.
It's a crossover.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a crossover because I remember issue 1 was solicited under IDW, and now this is issue 2 solicited under DC. So the collaboration's definitely there. And this is
that Kirby's demon I see on the cover there?
It is indeed.
Sure enough, yeah.
Yep. Very happy with what I see out of this. Joe Hill on the writing duties and Gabriel Rodriguez on the art chores. The variant covered by J.H. Williams that's also gorgeous. Good stuff.
Oh, look at that.
Yep. So, did we ever think it was going to happen on page 12?
Shane!
We miss you, brother.
Ba, 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 ba. Oh my God. And Joe Quinones, talk about an artist that has been wanting to do this forever. Because this is not the first time he's attempted to do Batman 89. He submitted a pitch to DC back in like the mid 2000s that got rejected because they couldn't get the rights right. And he released that the images that he made from that online back in the day. And finally the fates aligned. And now we get the continued adventures of the Batman from 1989. And I guarantee you it's because of him showing up in Flashpoint that we're getting this comic.
Is it Sam Haim or Ham? I'm sorry. The author.
It's Haim, I believe.
Did he write the movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
He did, right? Okay. Yeah, I thought so.
Yep. Screenwriter for Batman and Batman Returns. Yep. Along with Quinones on art.
Ian, this Flashpoint movie they're doing.
Yes.
Is that going to incorporate like the Snyder universe with other versions of the DC universe, basically? That
seems to be where they're heading.
Okay.
Considering we also have a Supergirl showing up in it that was recently leaked. Full costume image of her in it as well. That looks to be the Supergirl from the Injustice universe. Yeah.
Definitely not Melissa Benoist, in other words.
No, most definitely not. No. This one has black hair and I believe is the daughter of Lois and Clark, if I remember correctly. So yeah, and it's not the straight Injustice universe because a lot of stuff happened in the Injustice universe. Long story short, there's no way that she could exist outside of like dream sequences and that. But the character herself was created for the Injustice comics by Tom Taylor, and now they're taking that character and building upon it for the movie.
And the Injustice, you mean the video game, correct?
Yes.
That what you're talking about? Okay.
Yes, and Tom Taylor's been writing the comics for it for forever now. Yep.
All right.
But yeah, and then on the next page, somewhere collectively, Jamal Igle and Raphael Suhu breathe out a sigh of relief. And somewhere I just heard Jamie do the same. Superman 78.
Yep.
Page 13, Robert Venditti, Wilfredo Torres. So happy that these things are happening.
I love they capture the likenesses of the actors so well.
They do.
Margot Kidder and Gene Hackman.
And it's not so close that it's creepy.
No, but the essence is there. Like
exactly,
really
because there's a very, very thin line between breaking the fourth wall and getting the essence of the characters, and I feel like they really did get the essence of the actors and the characters.
Sign me up for this one. Woo!
Yep, so good. Tim Seeley writing a Superman versus Lobo series on the next page.
Usually, I enjoy anything he writes. Tim.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, he's a great writer. He's a great draftsman. Yep. Page 14 for that one. And then for those of you who want to know more about Clown Hunter, now you can.
Raise your hand.
Who the hell is Clown Hunter?
Raise your hand.
A young vigilante who, after the recent Joker War story in the Batman series, has taken it upon himself to go out and kill all of the Joker's former henchmen.
Yeah,
like all the clown-suited followers of the Joker, and I guess the grail for him would be to kill the Joker himself.
Yeah. Tinian created the character, and it's actually been used nicely within his within his pages. I just don't really think I need a secret files about him, but go figure. But that's on page 15 if you want to know more.
Oh, look at this.
Look at this. Page 17. James Bond calls. He wants his life.
Yes.
Pennyworth, number 1. I always forget there's a Pennyworth TV show.
Yep, I've not yet.
I forgot there was one too.
Yeah.
It's on something called Epics, which I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I don't have the opportunity to watch.
I do not have access to Epics either. If I did, I would have watched it by now because it's supposedly set in the actual Gotham universe. They did confirm that because a lot of the original creators are on it too. But this is Scott Bryan Wilson and Juan Gideon giving us some Cold War era Pennyworth action. Loving it.
Well, yeah, many different stories have alluded to the fact that Alfred had a, shall we say, adventurous youth in various espionage and military capacities. So.
Oh yeah. Doesn't it kind of look like they took like 4 James Bonds and just like like let's get a little bit of Roger Moore, a little bit of Connery, and just like throw it into a blender, and then
it looks like Timothy Dalton's eyes.
Eyes, yeah, there you go, boom.
Aquaman.
I was waiting for that. Page 18, the 80th anniversary special.
80 years.
Oof. Amazing. Hey, look at that. We're gonna get artwork by Steve Epting in this.
Oh, magnificent.
Love it. Yep. Good for Aquaman for surviving this long, and yeah,
Aquaman's had some great runs, man. Some
he has
periods in this title.
Yep.
And it appears that this is all new material too. I don't think there's any reprints in there, because if so, we'd be seeing names like Peter David and like Ramona Fradon and so on.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Good point.
The names we have here are impressive enough, though.
Jeff Parker, oh, wonderful.
Doc Shaner,
yep.
Francis Manipul, Paul Pelletier.
Man. John's on writing duty again. Jurgens, Johns, Thomas, like so many great writers involved there too. Marguerite Bennett, for that matter. Jeff Parker. Good times.
I'm assuming he'll be teamed with Doc Shaner again, since they've worked together so many times.
Yep. And speaking of Paul Pelletier, Batman Superman 2021 annual. This looks like super fun just because it's story by Gene Lin Yang, art by Paul Pelletier on the Superman side, and Francesco Francavilla on the Batman side.
God,
both of those sound fantastic. It's a flip book.
Oh, boy. Okay. You sold me. I'm making a mark.
He's making a mark, ladies and gentlemen. Murd makes the mark.
Did I mention it's a flip book? Page 19.
This is like the
yes, damn you, yes.
The geek equivalent of like Moses parting the Red Sea. Murd makes the mark.
Excellent.
There it is. The mark is made.
Fantastic. Green Lantern annual as well. Bringing back one of my favorite things, the word box, the word box on the cover. Welcome to the Sinestro Corps, Jessica Cruz.
Yeah, it's good to see a word balloon on the cover. You're right.
He's been a lot better about that lately than Marvel has been. But they never did sell in quite buy into the whole iconic cover thing quite as much as Marvel did, even back in its heyday 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm. And for that matter, annuals being back at DC, like I don't think we've really seen that many annuals in the last couple of years. But Page,
there have been Batman ones by Tom King that have been wonderful.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know. I don't know about across all the titles. But.
Yep. team. Stephanie Phillips has one for Harley Quinn on the next page, page 21. Suicide Squad has one on page 22. I'm just going to have to read the Suicide Squad run eventually because it's got so much, Con-El in it. Have to get more information on that and find out why there seems to be so many clones of the clone all of a sudden.
Oh, the Midnighter. Becky Cloonan. Oh, excellent.
Fantastic.
Great creator.
23. Yep.
Art by Michael Avon Oming.
Ooh, wow.
Now, quick side question. That reminds me. Did Powers ever end?
No.
Okay.
No. It just kind of fizzled away.
Okay.
I'm sure eventually they'll wind up going back to the story, but I don't think it was ever really a type of story that would end necessarily. They tell stories when they want to tell stories.
Because in its heyday, that was one of the series to read, man. That was.
Oh yeah, and it was even a PlayStation Network TV series.
I didn't hear good things about that though.
Yeah, it was okay, but it's just when the first season acts as essentially a prequel to the actual first volume,
okay.
not the best idea.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right, let's head down here a little further. Oh, how about this Ostrander collection of Suicide Squad stuff in anticipation of the movie Trial by Fire on page 25. Crafted by acclaimed creators John Ostrander and Luke McDonald, this volume collects the first 8 issues of the team's legendary 80s title, as well as their updated history from Secret Origins number 14. Page 25. Going all out with all that stuff. But then on page 28, the fun begins.
Oh, wow.
Jeffrey Brown, Batman and Robin and Howard. Love it. To Damian Wayne, there is nothing more important than protecting the streets of Gotham City as Robin. When he makes a critical mistake while out on patrol, Damian finds himself benched. And what's more, Damian's dad, Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, decides that starting over in a new school will be just the distraction Damian needs from his superhero routine. Love it. Gotham Metro Academy meet Damian Wayne. Page 28. I love Jeff Brown's artwork.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yep. Got a new Amethyst series on page 30, Princess of Gem World. Any fans of Amethyst out there? And artwork reminiscent to the She-Ra series, I'd say, with a little bit of manga flair thrown in there for good measure.
You see that?
Yep. And then there's a free Comic Book Day special edition flip book where you get a little bit of both of them on page 32. Whole bunch of free Comic Book Day stuffs thrown in here. For 25 cents a pop, mind you. It's not actually free, but I'm sure most stores will give them away for free. Suicide Squad King Shark. And then we get to Action Comics and more of the story of what's going to wind up happening to Clark over in Action Comics 1034. Season 2 continues. The Batman The Adventure continues on page 39 to point that out. Dini and Burnett telling more Batman the Animated Series goodness. And then you get more of your urban legends here, Chris. Chip Zdarsky.
That's enough.
Page 40. Killing it with the anthologies. DC is killing it with the anthologies.
Wait, go back. Oh, yeah. Batman Catwoman. So that's the time. I'll talk about that series when it's finished.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But King and Man. Man and King. Blue and Gold 43.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that with Shane as soon as we get it in our hands.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think we're all going to read that.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
Anything for Shaney Poo.
And Catwoman looks like it's going to have a Batman appearance. Page 44, number 34 of the series. By Ram V or Ram 5, whichever way you want to say it.
I always like to do this for Murd just for hyperbole's purposes. The Super Sons. Thank you.
Page 45. Tomasi continuing his well-renowned Super Sons run. Ah, here we go. Justice has no home on Earth 3.
That's a tagline for you.
Oh, yeah. Love it. Absolutely love it. And we're getting way more of the Syndicate here, just even looking at the members. Like, whole bunch of different characters here than what we normally get.
Yep, they've added a couple. There's the Earth 3 Atom, Atomica there.
Mm-hmm.
Not only this, but there's an Earth 3 storyline going on in the Suicide Squad monthly, simultaneous to this.
Indeed. Yep. It's on page 47. And I think we can scroll down a bit here. I love me some Mariko Tamaki, but we're mid-storyline in most of the Batman stuff. Oh, love this cover on Harley Quinn #6. Covered by Riley Rossmo.
So, Ian, that reminds me, that animated series you've been raving about.
Yep.
Is that only one season or are there two?
There's 2 seasons so far, and season 3 is in the works and coming out soon.
All right, I have to watch that.
There was a whole stink online about something that's not happening in season 3, and it was kind of stupid marketing by DC for even making a statement about it. But, you know, what are you going to do? Basically, we now know something that Batman does not do with Catwoman, and that's that. I'll just leave it at that. You can find out the rest online.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Icon and Rocket mentioning the milestone stuff on page 55. Reginald Hutland with Doug Braithwaite and Andrew Curry. And I still love the concept of this. This is only a 6-issue miniseries, The Infinite Frontier, but we're going to get Flashpoint Batman showing up now in Infinite Frontier, along with Baracko Superman and the rest crew.
There's a flashback to Winnick's Outsiders right there.
Yes!
There you go, Ian.
Number 5. Oh, my God. First off, what the hell is Arsenal wearing?
He's wearing the 1990s. That's what he's wearing.
Well, yeah, but the goggles. Oh, my God. Did he get fashion advice from Kyle? Like, it's, man. But it's a classic Jade costume. That's what I'm happy to see.
Wow.
From the looks of the trailer that came out, by the way, it looks like we're probably going to get Jade in the Stargirl series as well. Looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
That's another summer mission of mine to finish that first season before the second one comes out.
You got it. DeMatteis continuing Justice League Infinity #2 on page 60. Again, more stories in the Justice League Unlimited universe. Super happy to see this in any way. Love it so much. And Zdarsky's Justice League #4 of 7 on page 61.
What a great Nightwing cover! Wow.
They're gonna have to make a book out of
I've seen some of these. They're sensational.
So good. Bruno Redondo is easily my favorite cover artist in comics now. Page 64. Yeah, every single thing he does with Nightwing is just new and innovative and creative.
Yeah, one of our listeners posted the cover where they did a riff on the Batman 60s television show where he's scaling the wall and there's all the different versions of Nightwing. It was wonderful.
I think that was Kenny.
Yeah.
Kenny Parsons.
Yep. Okay. Rorschach, we're one away from the conclusion of Rorschach on page 66.
Great.
Yep. Page 68. Scooby-Doo with...
I love how they can maintain the original numbering for that series.
Yeah. That's a good point. Issue 111 of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
Looney Tunes is even higher than that.
That's true. And this is part 2 of 4 of the Shazam miniseries. And Murd, I'd love to know if you do pick up issue 1, what you think about it when it does happen. But I know you're not too thrilled about it.
Simply not going to happen, Ian.
I figured. Yep.
He spoketh.
Well, at least we can take great joy out of the rest of the costumes showing up for the Shazam movie and them all looking absolutely perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the new Shazam family looking good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Vita Ayala's third issue of Static coming out on page 71 with art by Chris Cross and Nicholas Draper Ivy. Again, super happy to see that back. There's that Suicide Squad storyline you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Page 72.
Yep. Siege of Earth 3.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think other than the Supergirl throwout, I'll do right there, page 74. I really want to read the first issue of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow at some point. Because I've been
out of the first issue. Yep.
Yeah, I've been seeing some very good stuff about that. But I think that's pretty much it on singles for me. Outside of that,
Superman Red and Blue here on page 77. This is as you were saying, Ian, they're killing it with the anthology stuff right now. And
they are.
This is one that I must get in trade when it comes out because look at that cover and read the solicitation copy. There have been stories about lots of my favorite members of the Superman family showing up in this miniseries. And this issue has the return of Streaky the Super Cat.
Oh.
Yes.
By Sophie Campbell. So, yeah. I gotta read this stuff in some form eventually. I'll grab the trade.
Well, this is only going to be issue 6 of 6, so it will be easy to do. All of it in one package. Superman, Son of Kal-El, on page 78, for more of the young Superman adventures.
Mm-hmm. Future adventures of Jonathan Kent, the son of Kal-El.
And page 80, Jinkies, it's Bane.
Yes, in his luchador mask. Oh, and it's also the Huntress.
With quite the hairdo.
Yes, indeed. Batman and the Scooby-Doo Mysteries #5 on page 80.
Ultra Ginchi.
Yes.
I bet Batman has that old animated librarian voice from the 70s for that.
Oh, obviously. Yes. Either that or Diedrich Bader. It's one or the other. Look at that gorgeous cover here, too.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Right?
Wow.
Truth and Justice #7 on page 85. Wow.
Suitable for framing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Wonder Woman's having a little multiversal adventure here on page 87, issue 777. She's fighting a villain named Janus and tracking her across various parallel Earths, and she shows up here on Earth 11, which is the gender-bent Earth. And that muscle-bound oaf she's punching there is herself. That is her equivalent on Earth 11, Wonder Man.
Yep. They can get away with calling him Wonder Man.
As long as they don't put it on the cover, I guess.
Exactly.
And on Earth 778, the cross-Earth caper continues. She visits the fifth dimension, the Phantom Zone, etc.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Also featuring adventures of young Diana. And then speaking of the anthologies, Wonder Woman Black and Gold on page 89 reaches its third issue. Look at that cover.
Whew. Beautiful.
Jay Lee.
But DC's turning out a lot of titles. Holy mackerel.
They are. They've kind of done the opposite of Marvel, because Marvel's cut down a little bit, and I feel like they're making up for lost time in some ways. All right. Well, I'll start on page 91 here with the collections. Batman Arkham Catwoman, because I saw it has some of the Brubaker Catwoman in it, so I definitely had to mention that. Yep. Collects Batman 1 and 355 from 1989, 1 to 4 of the Catwoman series, number 54 of Catwoman, number 25. They're just going all over the place with this stuff, but creators such as Devin Grayson, Ed Brubaker, Jerry Conway, and more. Excellent pedigree.
Let me mention, Ian, you remind me that one of the trades I want to buy this summer and add to my library is the Brubaker Catwoman series. I read the whole thing when it was coming out in floppy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who's a fan of Catwoman, that is essential reading. The way he explores her relationship with Batman / Bruce Wayne. He brings the Slam Bradley character into it, Wildcat. It's a tremendous series. It's my highest recommendation.
Yep. And then on the anthology train on page 92, collection of Batman Black and White, you can get it for $25 at DCBS, and I'm sure a similar price on Amazon. Get the 50% off there because it's retailing for $50. Don't spend $50. You can definitely get it for cheaper. But it's stories by some of the best creators in comics. James Tynion, Zdarsky, G. Willow Wilson, Paul Dini, Becky Cloonan, and many, many more. And art by J.R. Jr., Klaus Janson, Nick Bradshaw, Rachel Dodson, and Terry Dodson, to name a few. Andy Kubert. Oh, so great. Page 92, Batman Black and White. Talk about the librarian voice, page 93. Batman in the 50s.
Well, one of the great, and Murd can speak to this, but anyway, when you talk about Batman in the 50s or the Atom Age, the wackiness, the costumes,
it's all on display here.
Yep.
This trade is a big temptation for me because it's got lots of classic goofballism here. The first appearance of Batmite is in here. The story of the time that Thomas Wayne dressed up in a bat costume and foiled some criminals once. The intros of Mr. Zero, who would go on to be Mr. Freeze. Batwoman Kathy Kane, calling pants in his original art collection. The first appearance of Deadshot, who is unrecognizable from his Suicide Squad days. He looked very different back in the 50s. And even the Batman of Zur-En-Arr.
Oh, yeah. Zur-En-Arr. Oh, my God.
Get out your bat radios and...
But my friends and I just ran around screaming Zur-En-Arr for like 3 years after Morrison brought that concept back. It was just so silly in all the right ways.
Yes, I share your glee, Ian.
Yep. Page 93 for that one. And a terrific cover by Mike Cho, by the way. Yep. Got to point that out. All right, let's see what else we got. New collection of the Arkham Asylum, Arkham Asylum by Grant Morrison. I think Matthew Guy sent that to me in a Secret Santa one year on the comic forums. Sent me a copy of Arkham Asylum, if I'm remembering correctly. Page 95 for the new edition. And then this is another in the series of books that Sean Murphy's been putting out. This is the Curse of the White Knight, which is the sequel to the.
These are highly acclaimed, aren't they? I haven't read them.
They are. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Page 96.
Isn't the premise that Batman is more of a villainous character in this universe? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that Joker is more the hero.
Okay.
It kind of reverses it.
Oh, No Man's Land.
Yep, that's some classics right there.
That was a fun story.
Oh, excellent.
I really enjoyed that.
You had Rucka involved and Grace and Dixon. I forgot Alex Malev did art during No Man's Land. Huh, go figure. Yeah, Eaglesham as well, page 100. And Murd, a book for you, Batman Noel. Batman during Christmas time. Inspired by Charles Dickens' immortal classic A Christmas Carol.
Batman does the Three Spirits crawl. That's the thing I would consider reading, but gotta wait for the softcover though.
Of course. More Lee Bermejo art though, so that's nice to see.
Yep, he wrote it too.
Indeed. Alrighty. Anything else in the trades, gentlemen?
You guys notice that the majority of the collections DC's putting out this month involve Batman in some way?
Yes.
I very much did, yes.
I think I counted out of 25 collections, 15 of them are Batman.
I think just because you mentioned it on page 107, Superman, the Man of Steel, Volume 4, just to mention something not Batman. Stories by various, art by various, and an excellent cover by John Byrne. This collects the Superman The Wedding album along with other highlights, including the lead up to the altar and the honeymoon with new extras. And of course, a picture of him kissing Wonder Woman, because that's not who he marries, but whatever.
Yeah, but they've always had that chemistry.
I know.
It's from the bachelor party.
Exactly. He jumped out of a cake and everything. It was great. All right. Anything else, gents?
I'm good.
As am I.
Okay. In that case, we go back to the previews catalog.
That was a lengthy DC dive for us. This
it was because there was a lot. I'm sure that the rest of the book will probably be lenient, but we shall see. IDW starting us off with a Transformers offering, King Grimlock #1. I mentioned for the one and only Steve Orlando on writing with Agustin Padilla on artwork.
Now I'm gonna betray my limited Transformers knowledge. Was Grimlock the character would actually go Grimlock?
That is the one.
Okay, all right.
Grimlock King.
I knew Murd wouldn't let me down. All right.
Grimlock have limited vocabulary. Yeah.
I was now the cartoon. So
when I was in college, I was in a student-run production of Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, and I played Constable Dogberry in that. And one afternoon's rehearsal, we were just kind of sitting around, idly speculating as to which Transformer characters were most closely analogous to the characters we were playing. And I just kind of looked at my two constables and said, well, I guess we're the Dinobots. And I came out with the Me Grimlock King. And nice. By the by, I will absolutely buy that miniseries. It is Steve Orlando, and he's giving us a great mashup with King Grimlock stomping around in a sword and sorcery world with a kind of a Red Sonja type knockoff as a sidekick partner in crime.
Indeed.
It says it's going to be a great oddball buddy story.
Well, speaking of action adventure series that I will eventually be picking up, Bermuda #2 of 4, John Layman on writing and Nick Bradshaw on artwork. Can't get better than that. Cannot. Oh, let's see. Part of the explosive finale. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I saw final issue for a minute. But
Hama's continue. I mean, this is what an achievement. I mean, continue the numbering from his original Marvel series, and continue the story of that version of the characters.
Yep, and Hama keeps on it, and Andrew Griffith from the Transformers series. It's codename Sherlock,
a new Joe member.
A new Joe member. Yep. I did finally see the trailer to that new G.I. Joe Origins movie. It looks like it could be interesting.
Oh wait, they're doing they're doing another G.I. Joe movie?
They are. Only this one's going to be. They're doing. Just an Origins movie. For Snake Eyes.
Is it live action or animated?
Live action.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I have somewhat interest in it, but I'll have to see what the reviews are like first.
I'll go and I'll give a field report.
Mm-hmm. This includes the epic crossover with DC's Sandman universe, Lock and Key: The Golden Age, on page 139. It collects 3 standalone tales: Small World, the Eisner-nominated Open the Moon, and Never Before Seen Face to Music, along with the 3-part In the Pale Battalions Go, and the epic 80-page crossover with the Sandman universe, Hell and Gone.
I've only read the original, I guess, miniseries, which was magnificent.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't read any of the. Have you read the material since then, or no?
No, I haven't. I mean, I've
read the original miniseries.
I think I read the first 2 issues of it. Never got to finish it, but
that's wonderful.
Yeah,
I haven't watched the adaptation on television yet.
Yep, and I haven't even watched the unaired pilot, which hides on the internet in places.
Nothing hides from you on the internet, apparently, my friend.
Exactly.
Where's Mr. Woodward's Star Trek offering?
Let's see if it is in this particular previews. But
it's on page 146, and JK actually isn't involved yet.
Okay.
Oh,
got it.
Oh, it's issue 0. Okay.
Yes. This is where it starts. His character designs are certainly involved, though, as we have the Next Generation crew using his original character designs from the Mirror Universe. So yeah, this is issue 0 of it on page 146, written by David and Scott Tipton, and artwork by Carlos Nieto.
Well, with that writing team alone, if you're a Star Trek fan, this is essential reading because everything they've done has been consistently great.
Agreed.
So,
yep.
I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Shane is going to read that as well.
Yep, definitely.
You guys know I'm not the biggest Trek fan, but this is Star Trek Goes to Earth 3, so...
Oh, yeah, come on. It's like they wrote it with you in mind.
Oh, they got me.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, it's it for IDW.
Yeah, that is indeed it for IDW. And then what comes after IDW? That's right, Marvel. And we celebrate 60 years of fantastic. And first off, look at this recreation here.
Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And
well, you've got Dan Slott and Mark Waid. I mean,
yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Romita Jr.
I think this might be the first time Wade's written a Fantastic Four since his run.
Since the Ringo run.
Yeah.
Legendary.
I can't think of another time he's written them. I mean, he wrote Sue Storm in the Invisible Woman miniseries from like a year or so back, but the full team he has not touched in a while. Artwork by Romita Jr., Renaud, and Jason Liu. Yeah.
Look at that Kirby variant. Oh,
so awesome.
Yeah.
And yes, John Romita Jr. is back at Marvel. This is actually the first time since his exclusive deal ran out over at DC that he's back with he's back home, gents. He's back home. Good for him.
Absolutely. I'm always happy to see his work.
Oh yeah.
The story is all about Kang, apparently. It's like
Kang is popping up a lot in this previews, actually.
I wonder why. You think there was a movie? All right, fine. Yeah. And
not
maybe
just a movie.
I know.
Also, your theory about Loki.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I know. I'm probably right, but let's continue. But yeah, Let's touch on Black Panther #1. John Ridley taking over the writing chores of Black Panther with Juan Cabal on art. That's a great team.
So I'm looking so forward to this, and I have to admit, I was loving the Todd and Easy Coates sprawling epic intergalactic empire of Wakanda story, but I never finished it. I said, you know what? Inevitably, they're going to collect the entire thing, so I'm just waiting for that inevitable massive collection so I can read it in one shot.
Yeah,
but definitely picking this up. Look at that Alex Ross cover.
Beautiful. Woo. And it's a wraparound for that matter. Yep. Oof. Good stuff. That's on page 5, by the way, the official solicitation for it. John Ridley and Juan Cabal. Secrets from T'Challa's past have come to haunt him. Fresh from returning from his travels in space, Black Panther receives an unexpected and urgent message from a Wakanda secret agent. Now T'Challa must race the clock, not only to save his agent, but also to keep his true agenda under wraps, because the truth comes out, it could cost him everything.
Well, there's in T'Challa's world, there's secrets within secrets.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So. Sinister War. Nick Spencer's run will be coming to a conclusion, by the way. That was announced very recently, as of I think this last week. It's not in this previews, but Nick Spencer will be leaving the Amazing Spider-Man book, I think, in the next couple of months, and then after that, we'll find out who's taking over.
I haven't read any of this run. Is it well touted?
You know, I hear some people love it, and I hear some people hate it. I think
fairly polarizing.
Exactly. Yeah. I need to just give it a shot, and I'm going to sit down and have to give it a go, because it's had some excellent artwork on it, and I'm literally hit or miss on Spencer. I either really enjoy what he's doing, or it's not my bag, and I'll have to find out. I know Dan praises it, and that gives me enough of a hope.
That's high praise.
Yep.
Murd, was that the Sleepwalker I just saw?
No, I think that might be a character called Kindred.
That's okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, he does look very similar to him, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'd be excited if you were right, Chris.
I figured. Here we go.
Kang the Conqueror, #1 of 5. Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing on writing, and Carlos Magno on artwork. Not familiar with the writers, but I am familiar with Carlos Magno's artwork. Giving us the origin.
See, here's the thing. The thing that's interesting is that Kang is a really compelling, interesting villain, and he doesn't always get as much play as I think he should.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Avengers Forever, I think, is one of the great Kang stories.
Oh, sure.
But
Without a
I'm
doubt.
interested. I'm interested to see what where they're going to go with this.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, we've gotten quote unquote definitive origins of Kang before, but because it's the future, you can basically rewrite it as many times as you want. And I guess that's what Marvel's decided to do here with this now definitive origin of Kang on page 10.
Yes, this temporarily.
His helmet is awesome.
Oh, yeah. Plus, his younger self is Iron Lad as well, which was established in the Young Avengers.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's probably who's trapped in the bottom of that hourglass there on page 11.
Okay. High praise when I say this. I don't think anybody draws a better Magneto than John Romita Jr. I really, really like when he tackles, especially with like the dark that he usually has underneath the helmet. Like he actually knows how to make Magneto.
No, he works that helmet, that's for sure. Yep.
Absolutely. And X-Men: The Trial of Magneto. He's back on trial, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while, but he's back on trial. And number 1 of 5 here. Leah Williams is the writer, so I'm immediately in. And Lucas Wernick on artwork. Covers by many, but this is the variant cover by John Romita Jr. they showed.
Reminds me of the X-Men issue 200, which Romita Jr. drew, where the Magneto was on trial.
Indeed.
Yep.
The story that will shake Krakoa to its core. A horrific murder and a shocking revelation. Can't wait to see what it is.
Questions. If I'm going through the Marvel previews, is Hickman not writing X-Men anymore?
No, I think he is. I just think there's another X-Men book, if I remember correctly.
Because that was alarming.
Yeah. he's definitely in fact, actually, no, I know he is because we have his Inferno event coming up.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So if he's not in this previews, it's just a break. It's not that he's gone
gotcha.
forever. Yeah. Deadpool, Black, White, and Blood. Exactly. Tom Taylor, Ed Brisson, James Stakay, with artwork by Stakay, Wills Portacio,
and Phil Noto,
covered by Adam Kubert. Like a classic black and white movie, but with way more blood. That one was on page. I hate you with your page numbers, Marvel. What page was that?
16 and 17.
16 and 17. Thank you. Because literally 16, 17, and 18 don't have page numbers. So thanks. Okay.
Al Ewing writing a Cable story.
I was going to say, if anything's going to get you to read a Cable book.
I'm going to read it now.
Exactly.
I don't really care about Cable, but it's Al Ewing writing it.
Yeah, it's if you've been reading his Bill Ewing's Guardians of the Galaxy, this is a crossover with that. He's doing a story called The Last Annihilation, and he found a way to bring Cable in as a part of that. And
1995 wants its sword back. Holy mackerel.
And let's also mention the big gun is back. Yeah. I wonder if that's the sword that the Shi'ar guy used to have in Brubaker's run.
Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about. Yep,
yeah.
Yep.
Because
it was a good run.
Yeah, because it looks a lot like it, so it's possible.
That is a big gun. Yep.
Yes, it is. And here we are with the Winter Guard on page 19.
Mm-hmm. Yep, this is a group of oddball international characters that I've always appreciated at Marvel, whether they're calling them the Soviet super soldiers or the People's Protectorate or what have you. And I can't help but notice that Red Guardian there has suddenly sprouted a very David Harbour-like beard.
Of course.
I wonder why. Mm-hmm.
Well, shameless tie-in or not, I'll probably support this one.
It's like how Logan gained like 5 inches after the first X-Men movie.
Mm.
Yeah, no one remembers he's short anymore.
Exactly.
Al Ewing doing Defenders.
Well, you're buying that.
I sure am.
And Javier Rodriguez on the artwork. Beautiful. Oh boy. Yep. Masked Raider.
Great variant covers for that issue too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Doctor Strange and the Masked Raider take a non-team of Marvel's weirdest, wildest heroes on a mission that will uncover the hidden architecture of reality itself in a 5-issue mini. Love it.
100% in.
Mm-hmm. And then
There it is, Ian.
the standout of the previews. Nobody has to buy anything else but Dark Hawk #1. Yeah.
I never read a Dark Hawk comic in my life. I will be buying this issue.
You never read any of his Annihilation stuff? Okay.
Nope.
All right.
Once upon a time, I had a subscription.
Nice. I used to read him when I was a kid, and then Annihilation completely revived the character and made him much more interesting. Gave it kind of like a evil Green Lantern bit for a bit, and that was pretty cool. And now here we are with Kyle Higgins and Juanan Ramirez writing a 5-issue miniseries. Who is the all-new Dark Hawk? Connor Young, a 17-year-old star basketball player with the world ahead of him, till a surprising medical diagnosis changes everything. But what happens when a mysterious amulet finds him and gives him powers beyond belief?
And this is from the same person who's writing Radiant Black.
Right.
Indeed. Yep. I think he knows a bit about teenagers with powers. All right, let's move on past the... Yeah, I don't really need to talk about Carnage.
No.
I mean, we'll mention Amazing Fantasy. Kari Andrews writing an art. We mentioned issue 1 last month, and here's issue 2, and it just looks fantastic.
Oh, what a cover. Woof.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Was it Kari Andrews who wrote that very dividing Spider-Man miniseries back in the day where Mary Jane died due to Spider-Man poisoning her blood by existing? Like, it was kind of his like Dark Knight.
That vaguely rings a bell, but I don't remember specifically.
I think it was called Spider-Man Reign, if I'm remembering correctly.
I remember that title. Yeah, maybe I didn't read it though.
Yeah, let me see. Yep,
I love this heavy metal type cover though for the issue here.
Oh yeah, I just confirmed that was indeed Kari Andrews, and it was very divisive to say the least. I enjoyed it, but yeah, the typical Spider-Man fan was like, he might have went a step too far with some of the things that he did in that one.
Yeah, it's a what if.
I know. Mary Jane, you know what? It's already a mature episode. Mary Jane died due to his radioactive spider splooge.
I assumed as much, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, enough said.
Splooge.
More than enough, in fact.
I know.
Ian's getting punchy. As he gets punchier, he gets randier.
Yeah. I've been tired all day. Can you tell?
Yeah, I'm tired too.
All right, here we go. Miles Morales, Spider-Man Annual, Saladin Ahmed, and Jed McKay. They fight at the museum. I mean, enough said. That sounds like fun. And then Guardians of the Galaxy Annual, Al Ewing and Jed McKay. Hercules is in it. Enough said. I mean, that's it. Jed McKay all over the place with the annuals. All on page
Murd, they're
35.
calling them Infinity Stones. I'm sorry.
I appreciate your sympathy, Chris.
Yeah. How about that variant cover on the very next page, page 36, the variant cover for Moon Knight? The mysterious Moon Knight. Horror is the Hobgoblin?
Wait, it's a John Romita Sr. variant cover.
It is indeed. He essentially made an old school
Oh, wow,
Moon
look
Knight
at
cover.
that.
It's gorgeous.
That is awesome.
Yep. Talk about something that could be framed, Murd. My God, that looks damn fine.
And that the cover below it's beautiful too.
Oh yeah, yep. That's McNiven right there.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, that too. But the variant beneath the Romita Senior variant.
Yes, the Peach Momoko one. Yep.
Yeah, lovely.
Oh yeah. All right. Page 38 again. Just adjectiveless X-Men.
Okay.
So
that's where I was confused. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what separates it. But that's Jerry Duggan and Pepe Larraz. They launched that last month, and it's all tied in. New lineup trading card variant. Oh boy. Oh my God, I love this. I love this fist.
That's a great cover. Wow.
Beautiful. Page 39, and then Onslaught's back.
Mm-hmm. Dragon
Oh,
Nightcrawler
yeah,
from
look
the
at
mud
that.
by his three-toed foot.
Oh boy. Page 40. Oh my God. I'm
So wait, just so I remember, Onslaught was like the dark aspect of Professor Xavier's psyche, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't that what Onslaught is?
mixed with
essentially?
Magneto, mixed with Magneto's psyche.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But now Professor Xavier is pretty dark already. So where are we going with Onslaught now?
Well, he fits right in then, clearly. Yeah. Continue to love the X-Core covers, by the way, page 42. In case in an emergency, break glass there with Alberto Focci on the artwork and David Aja on the cover. Love it. But here we go. Page 43.
Oh, there you go, Ian.
Just for us, Murd. David and Knock returning to X Factor. Wolf's Bane Unleashed and Doom. Love it. 43.
There's a lot to love in this little arc.
Absolutely. I just really enjoy that the X-Men Legends book exists to begin with. And yeah, they're knocking it out of the park so far on returning favorites. And Peter David is definitely one of them. And I look forward to seeing this in-between arc and what it's like. What else we got, gents?
Well, there's something right there on page 46. Chris, if you've been yearning for more of a Spider-Man life story, it's Zdarsky and Bagley coming back to give you another 40 pages of it.
I know. When I saw this announced, I basically made the exact noise you just did there, Chris. And it's we did not get a lot of J. Jonah Jameson in the original life story.
No, that's true. So this is focusing on his obsession with Spider-Man.
Exactly, and
across the decades,
and how it works. Yeah, across the decades. I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Wow.
Yep. Plus that cover too. I mean,
yeah. That again. That if you're a Spider-Man fan, speaking to the listeners, you gotta read Life Story if you haven't read it. It's one of the most exciting Spider-Man stories I've read in years.
Instant classic. Instant classic.
It really is.
Yep. And issue 5 of Spider.
Ian, welcome to the party.
Loving it. Absolutely loving it.
Let me tell you, number 2 is even worse.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm sure it is.
And I mean that in the best possible way.
Oh yeah. Yep. Let me just describe it. It's not a spoiler, but let me describe issue one for you. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Yep, that's perfect.
All right, let's see what else we got. Alien issue 6.
The art is LaRocca. The art is gorgeous. God.
Damn.
Yeah. Here's Higgins doing Ultraman.
Yeah, that's a. It's cool that Marvel even has the license to Ultraman in general. You know, one of the most famous Japanese characters. And the Marvels on 55 with Busiek and Sinar, issue 4.
Now, Immortal Hulk is nearing its conclusion.
Yep. This is the penultimate issue on page 57.
So again, I'm reading this in trade, so I'm sure at some point next year or the end of this year we'll get these in trade.
Yep, and
what a series!
He's going through the door, Chris. He's going through the door. Yep. Iron Man 11.
Yes, on page 58, Iron Man slugs it out with Stiltman.
Yep, and featuring another appearance by everyone's favorite armored Canadian hero, Avro X.
Eat your heart out, Box.
Cantwell leaves no stone unturned. These stories are magnificent.
Oh yeah. Aaron's still writing Avengers even after his Heroes Reborn arc, page 59.
I'll report on the first issue of this once I get it.
United States of Captain America.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, and
first issue of that was wonderful.
Oh my God! Look at the cover too.
Yeah.
Oof. Page 61. Beautiful.
Old Reed Richards. Yep.
Yep. And Black Widow up for an Eisner.
Is it really? Okay,
it is.
I haven't read it.
Yep.
Kelly Thompson's an excellent writer.
We'll go over the Eisner noms next comic talk, but yeah,
sounds good.
Page 63, Black Widow number 10. Thompson
I'll have
and
to pick that up.
Castorante. Yep.
The last Black Widow I read was that magnificent, I think it was the Mark Waid run
Mm-hmm.
from a few years back. Oh, that was tremendous.
Oh, yeah. That was the follow-up to his Daredevil run, right?
Yep.
Yep.
This I got to pick up with Ian because I read the first trade, loved it, and I haven't read anything since then. But everybody is raving about this Zdarsky's Daredevil.
Yep.
There's your Runaways issue 1.
Yes, indeed. Legacy number 100, the 100th issue combined of Runaways, and I couldn't be happier because it's just the best. My favorite teen series out right now, and Runaways number 38, and Rainbow Rowell is stuck with it now for 38 issues. So good for her. Any Star Wars stuff to point out, Jen?
Just the War of the Bounty Hunters is so much fun.
Yep.
It's a great concept. Again, the concept is what happens to Boba Fett when he leaves Cloud City with Han's entombed body, and then all the way to Jabba's palace. And there's a whole. Again, he loses Han, and they go into how that happens and how he's determined to regain him. It's really fun.
Nice.
More Kang the Conqueror.
Kang all over the place, and putting statues in there too, just to make their previews a little bit longer. As we
that's the first what if I ever read. What if Wolverine killed the Hulk?
Ah, nice. Page 80.
And then actually all those 3 stories there. What if Daz became a Herald of Galactus? What if Iron Man ended up in Camelot? Those are the first what if stories I read. All great.
And I love the Romita Jr. cover with the original design for Uatu, with him being all like chubby and tall. Like it's completely different than the big head that we got later on.
Well, actually, the big head was Kirby's take.
Got it.
Yeah, they for a while they revised him into the big chubby guy.
Yeah, but Murd's right. The big head was the original design.
Got it. Okay.
That's the shape he wore to host What If, and eventually Woodward, in one of his Quasar issues I read recently, he reconciled that. Apparently, Watchers, their natural form is the slim body, big head, but they can assume that other form to be more imposing.
Okay.
To scare people off without actually engaging in them and violently and violating their oath of non-interference. It's kind of a scarecrow gambit.
Love it. 84. Howard the Duck by Zdarsky and Quinones. Enough said. Hardcover edition. And then I have a hardcover edition of Mutant Massacre that I bought in the famous Amazon glitch sale, when everything on Amazon that was comic book related was like 80% off. I paid like $10 for my Mutant Massacre omnibus, and it's sitting on my shelf, and I'm happy for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I also got a Criminal omnibus when I got it too, for again like a solid $10 for an oversized hardcover. Wolverine and the X-Men.
That was a good series. That was a really good series.
Yeah, and the first time we really got Krakoa back in any form.
Yep.
Page 87.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Murd. Look at that.
Just for you, Murd. Warlock by Jim Starlin.
Mm-hmm. Yep, which I think I already do have this in hardcover form, so I can pass on that. But it's nice to see it's staying in print.
Oh, yeah.
And one of these days, that character will find his way to the big screen. I get the feeling it's going to
they've already hinted at it in the second Guardians film.
Mm-hmm. So. Yep. Supposed to get it in Guardians 3, but Guardians 3 is still a while away. New Mutants Omnibus on page 89 for anybody looking for Windsor Smith action, plus Claremont, Wheezy, DeFalco, and Innocenti.
All great creators, one and all.
Oh, yeah. More of the John Byrne Fantastic Four collected in hardcover. Marvel Masterworks Fantastic Four, volume 23. They're up to already. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it for Marvel for me. Let's say the rest. Good. Okay. You know what? I'll mention in passing, just because we love Al Ewing. Page 98, Sword by Al Ewing. I actually really like this Sword series. Collects the first 5 issues of Sword 2020 by Al Ewing, penciled by Valerio Schiti and Bernard Chang and a bunch of others. All right, back to the rest of the book. What say we for Dynamite?
I say I'm not planning to buy a single Dynamite publication this month. But it is kind of cool that Kiss is coming back to comics.
Yeah, that's true.
Kiss does have a storied history with comics, right? But down to their blood being put in the original Marvel Treasury edition back in the 70s.
Oh
We've
boy.
all seen the pictures of the professional phlebotomist coming in and taking the blood sample for that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That ran in one of Marvel's fan mags.
Yeah, and they usually wind up buying the original artwork for the first issue of their comic series. So I wouldn't be surprised if they already have paid Jay Lee a good sum for this.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think Gene Simmons has boasted that that's part of the contract. It's like he requires it. If you're going to do a comic with me, I get the art.
Yep. Yeah. Now that you mention it, I think that is what Jamal said when he worked on a Kiss comic back in the day. Ooh, Elvira meets Vincent Price. Okay, there's one thing on page 160 that catches my interest.
Yep.
David Avalone and Juan Samu. A meeting for the ages right there. Hear his laugh in my head. There we go.
Yes. Fun gimmick, but not quite fun enough.
Fair enough. All right, let's get back past the Dynamite then and on to the Boom, shall we?
Interesting historical background story in Boom. On page, my eyes are going tonight. I'm sorry, gentlemen. Page 190.
Mm-hmm. My PDF decided to slow down, so let me get to 190 for you.
Well, Better Angels, a Kate Warren adventure. So it's about a detective who helps foil an assassination attempt against Lincoln.
Okay.
Interesting concept. So
yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, here we are. Yep, and it's a original graphic novel hardcover, so you get the full story in one shot. Only $25. Not bad.
I may give that a shot, budget permitting.
Yeah, definitely. Like the preview artwork for it too. I just picked up a bunch of Power Rangers comics as part of a Humble Bundle for $25. So I'm finally going to get to read the Higgins Power Ranger stuff, and I can report back once I've done so. So that kind of shaped their entire comic book universe for a while. Anything else in Boom?
I don't think so.
Okay. Murd, anything else?
Nope. Actually, I'm not planning to buy a single thing from Boom this month either.
All right, then I'll just mention the advanced solicit here for page 201, Saladin Ahmed's Abbott 1973. It's about a tough-as-nails reporter with growing powers, but can she save the soul of an entire city?
I think we talked about this when they first solicited the comic.
We did indeed.
Yeah.
Yep.
The premise sounds very interesting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. About Detroit and a superpowered character looking to save it all, and that's on page.
Well, 1973. I mean, it could have a sort of a fun blaxploitation feel to it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Oh, something is killing the children. Book 1 deluxe edition here, hardcover, 1 through 15 in a single deluxe edition hardcover for the first time. Always hear very positive things about something is killing the children, and that's Tinian, so it's bound to be a reason for that.
You can even get it in a deluxe limited slipcased edition.
Yep.
For just $20 more.
Exactly. So if you really like slipcases, they have you covered.
I see what you did there.
Aha. Sometimes my puns are accidental, and other times they're on purpose. You try to figure out when that is, because sometimes I don't.
Listeners are really getting their money's worth tonight with you, Ian.
I know. All right, let's see. Yeah, I think that is pretty much it for Boom for me. So let's head
Maybe
on.
we should have like a Patreon exclusive where you just do like a whole stand-up show with just your whole shtick.
No one's gonna listen to that. All right.
Put together a tight five.
Exactly. Let's mention this then, as it was on the cover of the previews catalog. This is on page 216, and it's Maria Lovett's Horseland, and it's about from a Blaze Comics, and it's about Beryl, whose life in the desert, living with her aunt and her cat, is relatively simple until the day she finds and enters the dollhouse. Stuck inside an ever-changing mystery house that hunts children and turns them into dolls, Beryl goes on a psychedelic journey where she must face the notion of her own limitations and move past them before she becomes the building's newest prey. That sounds fascinating and horrific and super fun. Very cool. There's even a QR code in the previews catalog to preview issue 1 for those of you who are looking to do so, and they have a couple of preview pages on the very next page as well, with some very lovely artwork.
Check out on page. I know I'm jumping ahead a bit. On page 251, Archie, 80 years, 80 stories.
Oh, very nice.
Celebrate Archie's 80th anniversary with the best of them. So,
Very cool.
over 700 pages of classic, much-loved comic book stories. One from each of the 80 illustrious years of Archie Comics publishing. So one story per year. That's a great concept.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Very cool. I can actually get to the page. Here we are. There we are. Very nice. Jumping back to about where I was, I found a comic that Peter Rios is going to wind up buying whether he likes it or not. Yep. If I can get back to the page, where was it here? It was like page 221 or something like that, right? Yeah, here we are. Okay.
Sorry, my Dave simulation going on here.
Yeah, let me go down. Here we are. I'll just use my down key moving forward. For some reason, it seems to have stopped itself. But yes, Crisis on Infinite Quarantine one-shot. Dave Sim and Various. Gustave Dore on various on the art chores. And you thought you were kidding about Infinite Quarantine when we ran these strips online last spring? We're betting Crisis on Infinite Quarantine will be as timely as the end of summer 2021. Dave Sim and his parody continues.
I'm ashamed to say I've only read one volume of Cerebus.
That's one more than I've read.
How about my record is identical to yours, Chris. Just whichever one we did for a book of the month a long time ago.
Yep.
Church and State, probably.
Yep. Very same page. I'll point out Run Book 1. Andrew Aiden and John Lewis and Nate Powell on the artwork. This seems really cool. To John Lewis, the civil rights movement came to an end with the signing of the Voting Rights Act in '65. But that was after more than 5 years as one of the preeminent figures of the movement, leading sit-in protests and fighting segregation on interstate busways as an original freedom rider. It was after becoming chairman of SNCC and becoming the youngest speaker at the March on Washington. It was after helping organize the Mississippi Freedom Summer and the ensuing delegate challenges of '64. And this is all about John Lewis and his life here.
Yeah, I can't emphasize enough how important these types of books are that bring this type of history into the comic book medium. It's maybe, for some people, maybe they don't want to read a more dense, traditional nonfiction work.
Yep.
This may be more accessible to them so they get a sense of the history. It's vitally important.
Absolutely.
I'm jumping ahead to page 283 because I saw a book that I used to have in the shop. And since this is a mature audiences episode, Ian, this works. So on page 28, or is it, my eyes are going tonight, man. I'm getting old. 293.
293.
Naughty and Nice, the Good Girl Art of Bruce Timm.
Ha.
this is if you love Bruce Timm's work, this is a fantastic collection. It's like a lot of horror art, like Dracula, like mesmerizing women, and it's it's sultry, it's sexy, it's sinister. If you love Timm's work, I highly recommend this book.
Oh, absolutely.
It's really stunning.
Yeah,
it's a great collection.
And then you've got Frank Cho pencil and ink on that very same page. If you're looking for some Frank Cho artwork, sometimes with mature themes as well, then that's your featured item right there. So you've got Bruce Timm and Frank Cho on the same page on page 293. All right, I will go back up if Murd, you have anything before that?
I don't think I do.
Okay, great. Then I'm going to continue going down then. Here we are.
Oh, wait a minute. Beg your pardon, I found something.
Okay.
On page 260.
Yep.
It's from the AWA Studios pages, the section of the catalog. It's something else from master silographer Mark Russell. Yes, with art by Mike Deodato Jr.
Wow, look at that cover.
It's called Not All Robots. The cover is by someone named Raza, and it's kind of a takeoff on the famous Norman Rockwell Thanksgiving dinner image. In the year 2056, robots have replaced human beings in the workforce. Every human family is assigned a robot upon whom they are completely reliant for money. What could possibly go wrong? Meet the Walters, a human family whose robot, Razorball, ominously spends his free time in the garage working on machines which they're pretty sure are designed to kill them. Yeah, so it's a good creative team. And
yes, indeed.
I just, if I could point out, wow, I missed this when I went through the catalog initially. Again, symbolic seppuku later, but
terrific artwork and excellent team in general.
Yeah, page 307. Oh, First Degree, a crime anthology. Now listen to this. Written by David F. Walker.
Okay.
Art by Michael Lark.
Wow.
Holy mackerel.
Wow.
Cover by David Aja. In
humanoids knocking it out of the park. Boy, oh boy.
Holy wow.
Man.
A woman lures her husband and his secret lover to an abandoned house. Something sinister is happening inside the convent. A chef commits the perfect murder. Okay, I mean, there's other creators. I'm just featuring those two because I just revere both of their work. But,
yeah, sure.
This is exciting. A crime anthology from humanoids. Wow.
And I mean, Aja is one of the best artists in the game. I love that cover so much. But then the work on the inside, oof, beautiful.
I'm afraid I must drag us backwards again, gentlemen.
Oh, please, by all means. What do we got?
All right. For those looking for some old school superhero adventure, on pages 266 and 267, a few older names, a few older hands in the industry have come together to produce the Heroes Union #1 Cosmic Crusade. It comes out from Binge Books. It's 68 pages for $4.99. It's by Roger Stern, Ron Frenz, and Sal Buscema.
Wow.
Good pick.
It's an original group of superheroes having some kind of cosmic adventure or other. Really, it's a creative team that's.
Absolutely. Yep.
Roger Stern.
Oof. And the cover too. Plus, all the designs for these heroes are unique, and this is like straight out of the 70s. It's terrific.
And we'll be talking about Roger Stern later on this summer.
Indeed. Well, since we're going back, I might as well mention Black, as here we are on page 269. We have the collection of Black Volume 1 reissued here. It collects issues 1 through 6. So if you have not read Black, now's your opportunity to do so. And it's also chapter 5 of White collected. That's Kwanzaa and Jamal's follow-up. And then there's also Black AF, America's Sweetheart, that Kwanzaa's writing with Jennifer Johnson on artwork. So all your Black stuff out of Black Mask is there for the taking. I will continue to scroll. Again, apologies for the YouTube feed, as my usual scrolling method seems to be slightly failing right now, and I don't want to take forever to do so, so I'm just going to have to go with this one instead.
Ian, you never apologize.
Well, I mean, I just did, but you know.
But we'd be nowhere without you, buddy.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Thank you. Derek Robertson on Space Bastards Volume 1. We mentioned issue 1 of this a while back, and this collects the first 6 issues of that on page 304. It's
Simon Beasley, too.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And Simon Beasley, along with Eric Peterson and Joe Aubrey on the writing duties. Yeah, I'm curious to see what this is going to be like. I wanted to check it out, and now here's my opportunity with the first trade being available. So that's Space Bastards Volume 1, Tooth and Mail on page 304. Oh, spotlight on Fraggle Rock, the ultimate visual history.
Shane.
310. Shane, this one's for you. Also, it's for Katie Cook. But yeah, this goes over the 35 years of Fraggle Rock history, all here for us on page 310. If you want a visual history of it all, it is there for you. And then right on top of that, Avatar: The Last Airbender, the official cookbook. There's some really yummy food in Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I'd love to see what exactly they are making here. And I want to try Fire Flakes, so I think this might be something I wind up having to pick up at some point. And I'm sure there's probably at least one dish with cabbages.
Oh, those poor cabbages.
I know. They always getting knocked over. Big Hero 6, the series, coming out of Disney on page 312 by Hong Gyun An. And obviously Big Hero 6 used to be a Marvel series, but now it's straightly over to Disney. And this is following the universe of the movie. And I've never really watched the animated series. One of these days I'll have to sit down and watch that. I know it's traditionally animated versus CGI, but I was a big fan of the Big Hero 6 movie, so this might be worth checking out. Brand new adventures from the animated series TV show bent of it. Anything before tomorrow's? Because I know we're gonna get there eventually.
Yeah, I'm good till then. Plus, I'm fading. I'm getting old.
Yep. Sounds good.
Last day of school. It's been a long year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know what? I'll mention this for its title alone. Oni is putting out on page 324, Weeaboo. It's their senior year of high school, and 3 friends are prepping for the biggest event of the year, the anime convention that hits just after their graduation. Even though they've been friends through their anime fandom for years, Maya, James, and Danielle are feeling a shift. Reality isn't constant like the cartoon series they bonded over. People grow up and sometimes apart, as the friends discover in a turbulent year filled with big plans, adolescent antics, devastating disappointments, and the poignant vulnerability of pursuing one's dreams. Alyssa M. Sala, the writer on this, and the illustrator, lettered by Susie Lee. As somebody who ran 2 anime clubs, this is interesting to me. And page 324, Weeaboo. Dig the artwork too.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Yep. Okie dokie. And I will keep scrolling down until we are at tomorrow's, unless there's something in between there. Murd, is there anything in between there?
Not on my end.
Okie dokie. Then I'm almost there. I'm in the S's. I can see it. I can see it coming. Here we are. S. Titan. Past Titan. Blade Runner comics. Check them out if you're interested. And then shortly after that, tomorrow's. Here we are. And let's start it off on page 360.
Yes.
With a book made for me. Comic book artist bullpen. Trade paperback. Comic book artist Bullpen collects all 7 issues of the Little Scene Labor of Love fanzine published in the early 2000s by John B. Cook. Featured are in-depth interviews with some of comics' major league players, including George Tuska, Fred Hembeck, Terry Beatty, and Frank Bolli, in an amazing all-star tribute to Silver Age great Jack Abel by the Marvel Comics Bullpen and others. Previously all unpublished All Comics Abel appreciation includes strips by Hubert, Simonson, Baker. Oh, this sounds like so much fun.
Everything under the comic book artist appeared in a couple different volumes. Everything associated with the title is tremendous.
Oh,
it's a wonderful, wonderful publication.
Terrific.
Great interviews.
Absolutely terrific. And then
let's
head over to the next page. Back issue number 131.
The Demon.
We got the Demon on the cover. That's really all we need right there.
It looks like Ian, my eyes are going tonight. I think it's saying what is it? Kirby post Fourth World Bronze Age DC stuff.
Yes, indeed. Yep.
My favorite Kirby. It's everything he did after the Fourth World at DC.
Oh, Murd.
Andy, it's OMAC, it's the Demon, it's Atlas and Manhunter, what they call Kirby's odd jobs. I'm guessing they'll get into the dingbats of danger.
I was just thinking that.
Oh yeah.
Murd, this is right up your alley.
Let's also focus on the text that says there, plus the Simon and Kirby reunion that wasn't. I want to learn about that.
All right.
Because it sounds like a what if universe where, we almost got a reunion that we did not wind up getting. So that's.
Would you go back to the previous page, please, Ian?
Sure can.
Thank you.
There we are.
So comic book creator, comic book creator 25, focusing on Terry Dotson.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jack Kirby Collector 81. I can't see tonight. What is it focusing on there? It's Kirby's.
It's mostly Jimmy Olsen from the looks of it. It's focusing on the unhinged lunacy of fighting Americans and the nonstop inventiveness of Jimmy Olsen. And
Jimmy Olsen, Newsboy Legion.
All right. Commandy UFO saga in there as well.
Great.
Yep.
Yeah, as Murd was saying, his work in the 70s at DC was so inventive and just so wild, and he had so many great concepts, many of which are still being used today, of course. Great stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I would be remiss if I did not mention before we move on from tomorrow's that Retro Fan Magazine number 17, among many other fab and fun features, there's a cover story there about one of my favorite movies, Rankin Bass's Mad Monster Party.
Oh.
Nice. Very nice.
Stop motion animated classic.
What year did that come out, Murd?
I believe it was 65.
Oh, terrific.
So somewhere 65, mid to late 70s.
I've never seen that.
The 60s, mid to late 60s.
Chris, I don't know if you saw on the very next page, on page 362, Al Plastino, The Last Superman Standing. It's a softcover collection about one of the last surviving pencilers and inkers of the Golden Age, laboring uncredited on Superman for 2 decades. Co-creator of Supergirl, Brainiac, and the Legion of Superheroes.
Yes, that's going to be a great history.
A name that more people should know, to say the least. Al Plastino, Last Superman Standing.
Great catch there, Ian. Well done.
Okie dokie. I'll mention Exo Man of War number 5 with Dennis Hopeless. That's on page 365. And then I think that's it for Exo. For pretty much Valiant and just about everything else for me. But let me see if there's anything involved that catches an eye. And if not, I'm heading down to manga and we're calling it a night.
I got to get the Blue Flame. It's Cantwell. I haven't even read the first issue.
Yes. That is a must for you. It's like if it's Cantwell or if it's Zdarsky, it's immediately a bye.
I'd like to give a shout out to Dead Box on page 370 there, which is also from Mark Russell. And it's kind of a horror anthology thing about a small town that is home to a cursed DVD machine. That seems to know more about its patrons than they do.
Oh my God.
Murd, there was a book designed for you. There it is.
every single week, T-Mobile as part of their T-Mobile Tuesdays gives me a free Redbox disc, and I've only used it like 3 times because I don't use discs anymore. Like,
do you have a DVD player still?
I still have a Blu-ray player,
Okay.
but it's not even connected. Like I can connect it if I want to, but it's not right now. I'm probably just gonna get rid of every DVD I own at this point. It's not worth having.
Well, I've been following your lead and converting, and also just buying when Vudu has sales. I just get a lot of the movies that I would want that I have in my library.
Exactly. Especially when they populate to other services.
Murd, I'm probably gonna have a big box of DVDs you can pick through.
Yeah. All right, manga, guys, manga.
That's all you, brother.
All right, let's see what we got. We got Romeo and Juliet, William Shakespeare, modern English edition. By the author is shockingly William Shakespeare, but adapted by Crystal S. Chan. I know I mentioned a few of these before, but that's on page 385, manga retelling of Romeo and Juliet. So that's pretty cool. And let's see what I got here for everything else. Had to get rid of that Mob Psycho ad as always. And let's see. I'm looking for a number 1. You know what? I'll just mention this in passing also before I get to anything else. Pokemon Adventures Collector's Edition Volume 9. The Pokemon Adventures manga is super fun. Even if you're not a big fan of Pokemon itself, the manga is completely different in style and feel and artwork style even. And it's really worth getting. And now they're collecting even more of it. This collects volumes 25, 26, and 27 in one collection. And that's on page 393.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I can vouch for it too, Ian. I've read the first few volumes. Certainly nowhere near as far as like 27, but yeah, way back in the day, in the early 2000s, when the Pokemon fever was at its pitch, I did get a couple of like magazine-sized collections of those.
Nice.
English translations by Gerard Jones, because he was still allowed to do things back then.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I know. Times change for good reason. But yeah. Probably a different adaptation now, I would think. They probably redid that. I would assume. All right. 395 Disney Cruella the manga, black, white, and red. Any of you who are a fan of the movie or are just interested in the character, adapted by Hachi Ishle, and it's Cruella, it's manga. Enough said. I'll get one more out of here that's not Disney related, I promise, and then I'll call it a night. Let's see. Got to be at least one volume 1 here that catches my eye. Okay, let's go with... No, actually, I'm not really finding anything, shockingly enough.
The Undead Adventure Volume 1?
Yeah, there we go. Actually, that's a good call there, Chris, on page 407. Ren Faina, 25-year-old adventurer, has been hacking away at monsters for a decade. However, without much talent for the job, Rent finds himself stuck hunting slimes and goblins for meager amounts of coin every day. Little does he know, all's about to change when he comes across a seemingly undiscovered path in the Water Moon Dungeon. What awaits him at the end of the path, however, is neither treasure nor riches, but a legendary dragon that wastes no time swallowing him whole. Waking up a short time later, Rent finds himself not quite dead, but not very much alive either. He's nothing more than a pile of bones, armed with nothing but his trusty sword, tool belt, and ghoulish new looks. Rent sets out on a quest as a newly reborn skeleton to achieve existential evolution, hoping to one day return to civilization with a more human form. That's a manga. That is a manga right there. Page 407, The Unwanted Undead Adventure, Volume 1.
I'm glad I set that up for you. All right.
Thank you, sir. Yu Okano and Jayan on writing and artwork duties. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a bolt shot.
Yes.
Job well done.
I've got one more in the chamber, gents.
Yeah.
I actually have something on the swag side of the book I want to
the swag.
Excellent.
Just briefly, flip the book over and look at page 45. It's a small series of action figures that I thought were pretty neat, and that ties into the current mania for 90s nostalgia. Ren and Stimpy action figures.
Huh.
Eh,
Available in Ren, Stimpy, or Powdered Toast Man.
nice. 3, 4,
We're
5.
flying. Oh.
And on that very same page, I might add, because there's the Ren, the Stimpy, and the Powder Toast Man that you mentioned. On the very same page, Gem is Excitement.
Wow.
Page 45.
Reaction
Back of the
figures.
book. Gem and the hologram reaction figures.
The most
Old
non-posable figures you can get. All right.
Oh, beautiful. We are the Misfits. We're better. All right, here we go. But yeah, I love Gem. I really do, and I'm glad that they're getting their play. And that's it.
See, we shot
got-
our bolt prematurely. Now we've been overrun.
Game, set, match, gentlemen. That was an adventure and a half. I don't think we've ever called out that many books in DC alone.
No, that was DC was that was an epic journey through DC for the month.
A hoot and a holler right there. Yep. Excellent. Alrighty. Well, one more reminder that we're sponsored by you, the listeners, over at patreon.com/comicgeekspeak. Thank you guys so much for sticking
Thank
with
you.
us. And we would not be able to do this without us. So thank you so much for your continued support. All right. And let's call this baby out. And the role of Shane will be played today by Adam Murdo.
Yep, who remembered he had to do this just in time.
Oh, of course. Here we are.
If you'd like to send us an email, our address is comicgeekspeak@gmail.com. If you prefer to leave a voicemail, you can call 267-702-6642. You can follow us on Twitter, where our handle is @comicgeekspeak. You can like us on Facebook, and you can sign up for our Comic Geek Speak super group there, where you can join in a variety of discussions and talk threads. And you can do the same thing over at the comicforums.vanillacommunity.com, which is our original forum, still active. You can go to youtube.com/comicgeekspeak to watch video versions of this and many other episodes of our show, courtesy of webmaster Ian, who puts those videos together and posts them, which is a chore unto itself, for which we all owe him our thanks. We'd like to give thanks also to all of you out there who have donated monetarily to the show by whatever format you prefer, recently or in the distant past, because the show would not be what it is today without your help and support. And we are, as always, uniting the world's mightiest heroes, one listener at a time.
Props.